I am honored to welcome you all to the 12th International Conference on Happiness and Well-being Amidst Polycrisis, Insights from Indian Knowledge System, here at School of Management Sciences, Varanasi. Sukha dukhe sami kritva, labha labho, jaya jayo, tato yudhai yujasva, naiva papam avapsyasi. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 38, equanimity in the face of happiness and distress, gain and loss, victory and defeat are encouraged, guiding one to perform their duties without attachment to outcomes. In today's world, we face a multitude of interconnected crises: environmental, economic, social, and psychological, that collectively form a polycrisis. Amidst these challenges, the ancient wisdom embedded in Indian knowledge system offers profound insights and practical approaches to foster resilience, well-being, and happiness. True happiness comes from balancing external achievements with internal well-being, rather than relying solely on success to fill emotional gaps. Over the next 2 days, we will delve into teachings from Ved, Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, Yoga, Ayurveda, and other traditional Indian sciences. These sessions aim to explore how such timeless knowledge can guide in navigating contemporary global challenges and enhancing our collective well-being. We are privileged to have a distinguished lineup of speakers who will share their expertise and perspectives on these themes. I encourage all the participants to engage actively in the discussions, as your insights are invaluable to the success of this conference. Let us embark on this journey together, drawing inspiration from the rich heritage of Indian knowledge system to find pathways towards happiness and well-being in these complex times. The conference is being organized under the aegis of CSHI, Center for Spiritualism and Human Enrichment, which is actively contributing towards enriching human lives and modern management science through spirituality. International Associate Partner of the conference is California State University, San Bernardino, Arch Advertising, and Babu International. Somaru Group are our gold partners. Once again, a very warm welcome to all of you. I wish to inform the House that Chief Guest for today's inaugural function, VC Sir, and Guest of Honor, Professor Sadashiv, will join us a little later. And with their permission, we are going to commence the program as per schedule. I request Guest of Honor, Swami Parmeshwar Dasji Maharaj, Dr. Anita Madhok, Professor C.S. Sharma, along with Director Professor P.N. Jha Sir and Convener Professor Amitabh Pandey, to kindly grace the dais and have their respective seats, please. We'll have the formal inauguration later on. Communication to welcome Swami Parmeshwar Dasji Maharaj, Mahamandaleshwar, Shaktidham, Varanasi, with the bouquet. Yes, he'll come back. I further request my senior colleague, Professor Kamal Sheel Mishra, Head, Department of Computer Science, to render the floral accord to Dr. Anita Madhok, leading coaching psychologist and Managing Director, Open Spaces Consulting, Mumbai. Dr. Anita Madhok. Now I request Professor Rajkumar Singh, Head Department of Commerce, to extend a floral welcome to Professor C.S. Sharma, former Professor, Shri Ram College of Commerce, University of Delhi, New Delhi. I once again extend a very warm welcome and heartfelt gratitude to each one of you for gracing the occasion. To formally welcome our gathering, I foremost invite Professor P.N. Jha, the head of institution and esteemed conference director, to come to the podium. Sir.
सर्वमंगल मांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरणे त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते। सिद्धि साध्य सतामस्तु प्रसादा तस्य धूर्जटे जाह्नवी फेन लेखे व यन्मूर्धनि शशिनः कला। सर्वा बाधा प्रशमनं त्रैलोक्यस्याखिलेश्वरी एवमेव त्वया कार्य मस्मद्वैर्विनाशनम। Honorable Chief Guest of the program, Professor Anand Tyagi, Vice Chancellor, Mahatma Gandhi, Kashi, Vidyapeeth, Varanasi, in absence. Venerated guests of honor, Professor C.S. Sharma, former Professor, Sri Ram College of Commerce, New Delhi. Dr. Anita Madhok, coaching psychologist and Managing Director, Open Spaces Consulting, Mumbai. Professor Sadashiv Kumar Dwivedi, Department of Sanskrit and Coordinator, Bharat Adhyayan Kendra, BHU, in absence. And Swami Parmeshwar Das Maharaj Mahamandaleshwar, Shaktidham, Varanasi. Other distinguished guests and participating dignitaries, including Professor H.K. Singh, Faculty of Commerce, BHU, Registrar Mr. Sanjay Gupta, Conference Convener Professor Amitabh Pandey, Session Coordinator Professor Pallavi Pathak, my academic and administrative colleagues, and participating students as delegates, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a matter of collegiate exuberance and immense satisfaction that the School of Management Sciences, Varanasi, an autonomous college and equally occupying an upper slot on the continuum of top 50 B schools in India, has been organizing its 12th International Conference on the topic Happiness and Well-Being Amidst Crises, Insights from Indian Knowledge Systems. At the auspicious occasion, I take the opportunity to extend a tempestuous welcome to all of you. For the SMS Varanasi fraternity, it is a matter of great honor to welcome the galaxy of erudite intellectuals once again. Friends, SMS Varanasi has been a genera apart among the peer institutions in as much as nurturing the intellectual and academic strivings, co- and extracurricular activities, outreach initiatives, and civic engagement quite sincerely as a globally sensitive organization, and further provides a context that enhances professionalism, humanism, and social responsibility of a high order. With a view to meticulously address to the set of daunting challenges before a pristine B school in maintaining desired level of professional impeccability, SMS Varanasi regularly undertakes a comprehensive introspection as well as environmental scanning to ensure that no emerging issue of academic significance could escape its intellectual radar. And this is the putative singularity of the institution's ambrosial salience. Guided by its societal hortatory obligations, SMS is once more standing before you with a grave issue in order to seek your cognitive involvement, to look into the matter and come out with your respective guidelines for addressing to the present matter of national and global significance. We have been extremely conscious towards making honest contributions in terms of both the creation and dissemination of the relevant knowledge inputs by providing creative platforms to the teaching learning community, corporate captains, policy makers, and other pertinent stakeholders for making a needful deliberation in order to address to any issue of considerable prominence, apart from a regular organization of national and international level conferences. The institution equally provides various other intellectual channels by regularly publishing 5 biannual research journals for giving proper impetus to this great cause. These journals include Management Insight, Purushartha, which is Scopus indexed, Computing Trend, SMS Journal of Entrepreneurship and Innovation, and the most recent is Commerce Research Review. The present international conference, 12th in the row, is being organized under a similar spirit within the aforesaid landscape of SMS Varanasi. The conference topic revolves around the present global polycrisis connected to our happiness and well-being vis-a-vis the relevance of Indian knowledge systems to mitigate and resolve it successfully. We are well acquainted that polycrisis refers to a simultaneous occurrence of plural interconnected global crises that exacerbate one another and thus creating a complex web of challenges. A polycrisis emerges when multiple issues such as economic instability, climate change, political conflict, technological disruptions, health emergencies, large-scale unemployment, etc. converge, amplifying their collective impact. This interconnected nature makes resolving a polycrisis more challenging, as addressing one issue often influences others. As regards our country's share in the polycrisis, despite a roaring economy, India is in the middle of an employment crisis. In a country with the world's largest and youngest workforce, there are very few good jobs to be had. In order to maintain its economic momentum, India needs to produce more jobs, and move a greater proportion of its workforce into higher productivity sectors. Failure on this count may add significantly to future political instability, social unrest, and a waste of our much vaunted demographic dividend. Recent analysis from McKinsey also suggests that by not improving its employment crisis, India will fail to achieve its aspirational GDP growth of 7 to 8% annually, which would in turn delay its goal to enhance the country's geopolitical standing by becoming the world's third largest economy by 2030. It is equally well known that ensuring happiness and well-being is considered to be an intrinsic responsibility for the global society. In no way a polycrisis can be allowed to make a dent on our happiness and well-being. So far as knowledge is concerned, it is the fact or condition of knowing something with familiarity gained through experience or association. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that knowledge is the great purifier and liberator of the self. In the contemporary context, we know that rapid changes both within and outside India in respect to politics, economy, technology, environment, demography, and aspirations portend a future that will be very different from the past. While one cannot foresee the future, one can at least try and be better prepared for it. And knowledge is the key to that preparation. Indian knowledge systems cover an inexhaustible myriad of areas and disciplines whose vision penetrates deeply into the humanities' perennial questions. Our classical scriptures, including Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, Satpat Brahman, Ramayana, Mahabharata, thoughts and philosophies of Valmiki, Vedavyas, Yagyavalk, Charak, Vatsayan, Tulsi, Kabir, Charvak, Kalidas, Tansen, Kautilya, Aryabhat, and etc. constitute the ceremonial storehouse of this huge pool of knowledge. Albert Einstein had once remarked, "We owe a lot to the ancient Indians, teaching us how to count, without which most modern scientific discoveries would have been impossible." You may appreciate that resolving the present polycrisis looks more challenging and demands holistic approaches for sustainable solutions. By exploring relevant insights from our IKS, the conference aims to significantly contribute towards dousing some of the teasing flames of the present global polycrisis. With an exulting reverence and a deep sense of gratitude, I once more take the opportunity of welcoming you all to this cerebral event and wish the ICON-25 a grand success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring words and providing an apt start to the conference. We are indeed fortunate to have with us today luminaries from diverse fields and expertise. Let us make the most of this wonderful opportunity. Our first guest of honor is Swami Parameshwar Dasji Maharaj, Mahamandaleshwar, Shaktidham, Varanasi. Originally hailing from Chicago, Swamiji has studied industrial and organizational psychology at New York University Graduate School of Arts and Science. After years of professional work and personal transformation, Swamiji now serves as spiritual advisor with Shaktidham Foundation, offering online educational webinars as well as on-site programs at Shaktidham. He is dedicated to awaken people to their full potential and inner power through increased self-awareness, shift in thinking and mindset, and expanding one's consciousness. His consulting experience spanning over 30 years include being a partner with Hay Group, specializing in working with foreign-owned companies and banks, and various non-profit organizations, including UNICEF. He has rendered consulting services in the areas of compensation systems, organizational change, HR and leadership, and executive and employee coaching. After his initiation as a monk, he has been a resident spiritual leader of an ashram in Crestone, Colorado, as well as the lead of a monastic order. Swamiji has published 6 books and written several articles related to spirituality, leadership, and new era coaching. I would now humbly request Swamiji to address the gathering.
Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mritoma Amritam Gamaya. From falsehood to truth, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. These words bring us into ourself, where we find all, we find everything within. It is a great honor for me to be here among all of you professors, scholars, researchers, students, leaders. And I thank the School of Management Sciences and the Center for Spiritualism and Human Enrichment. When I heard of this conference, when I heard of this school, when I heard of this center, I am inspired. Inspired that this exists, that all of you together exist, looking at spirituality, your own spirit within, the power within, how to remove the veils, the memories, the samskara, to realize within this huge power in all of us, in every single one of us, in our oneness. This is a perfect time for this conference. I just returned a week ago from Prayagraj, where I was at the Mahakumbh for 7 weeks, my 5th Kumbh Mela. I'll speak more about this. I just celebrated all night doing group sadhana at Shakti-Dham Ashram for Mahashivaratri. Mahakumbh, Mahashivaratri. The energy, the power, the frequency on this planet in Bharat right now, radiating from these ceremonies, festivals, holidays, for us to realize, to breathe, to take some moments of stillness, and to benefit from all of these energies within us, not just outside, but always within. This is a perfect setting, conference for me personally. After years of academia, receiving my PhD in psychology, after about 30 years of management consulting, being in business, working on leadership, organization change, strategic planning, bringing spirituality into the workplace. And then we talk about the Pali crisis. After years myself personally of suffering, within a year and a half, losing my mother, my brother, my job, my marriage. And then my guru, Her Holiness Jagat Guru Saima Lakshmi Devi Mishra, appeared in my life over 30 years ago. And as I transformed by, as I just spoke of, realizing what is inside of me, as I wish for all of you to realize what is inside of you, and to live as this, to express this, to live our dharma, our purpose, our highest, as we just heard of Lord Krishna and Arjuna, what is permanent, what is eternal within each and every one of us. We don't have to suffer. However, many are suffering now. And the way I look at the Pali crisis is that it's an opportunity that, unfortunately, through suffering, we look for meaning within ourselves. Who am I? What am I? Who are we? What can I learn to live powerfully in this, during this Pali crisis? How can I be resilient? And we see many people in conflict, and we also see many people coming together in unity to address what is happening on the planet. We can call this time a time of moving into the Satya Yuga. The cycle, everything is a cycle, the cycle of truth, Satya, moving from the Kali Yuga, the cycle of fear. We can call this moving from the old paradigm, the old mindset within us of fear. Fear-based qualities, attributes, energies, jealousy, this conflict, resentment, judgment, whatever comes to you as low frequency, fear-based energy and quality within all of us. And this is why the Pali crisis is here, for this to break apart, for us to realize how to transform these fear-based qualities within us, and to move to love-based, the new paradigm, the new era from the old era, love-based, compassion, generosity, unity. The attributes, we could say, of the devas, of the Devis, divine feminine on the planet. The divine feminine is coming more and more on the planet to be in harmony with the divine masculine. The qualities of the Devis of Navaratri, Durga, Kali, Lakshmi, Saraswati, within us to activate, to live, express. Lord Krishna, Ram, come to this planet as avatars when there is Pali crisis. They incarnate to show us the path, to guide us, as Lord Krishna guided Arjuna. As Ram went into the jungle in exile and came out of the jungle enlightened. Struggle, conflict, leading us, if we decide within ourselves, leading us to moksha, freedom, that resides within us. Always our choice. free will. And the Indian knowledge systems, as we just heard, the Bhagavad Gita, the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, all of this knowledge and wisdom, all of these slokas and mantras, all of these practices and tools, guiding us as a boat to the other side of the river, to our truth, to Satya. We don't have to suffer. However, as I say, and you know, there is suffering. Perhaps we can change our mindset from suffering to opportunity to be new, to realize our truth. When I look at the 8 thematic clusters, the 8 tracks of this conference, I am again inspired. Inspired that we have all of this knowledge, these professors, academicians, speaking together in unity from different paths into the one source, the one truth of happiness, well-being. I chose as a keynote to speak of 3 of these tracks, 3 of the 8. I love all of them, and 3 resonate when I look at them. Track 1, spirituality, happiness, global well-being. For me, as I just mentioned, the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna, Arjuna, Lord Krishna turning us within, having us shift from our attachments, from the senses, as a charioteer, the reins on the horses of the senses, the higher faculty of the mind, realizing who we are not as body, who we are not as Maya, and who we are as this truth. As Arjuna gazed upon all of the dimensions of Lord Krishna, we can look at our dimensions, our multidimensionality, all of our frequencies, not just here in the body, but all that we are as all of ourselves and all of our dimensions. We are not the small body, we are so much more. And when we realize this, we are happy. We achieve this well-being, this fulfillment, and more than happiness, joy, bliss. As Rama realized going through the forest and returning home to Ayodhya, returning home to who we are. Shivaratri here in Kashi, I spoke of our all-night sadhana. Shiv, pure space. Shiva, the destroyer, the transmuter, the purifier, transforming the veils of Maya that lead us to forget who we are, to realize Shiv Shakti. Shakti Dham, our ashram at the Harish Chandra Ghat of our Guru, Jagat Guru Saima, and our community and the Shisha, is in the form of 2 hearts, Shiv and Shakti, realizing divine masculine, divine feminine within, and bringing all of those qualities and energies within us into harmony. Shiva. Namah Shivaya. The Kumbh Mela, the story of the Kumbh and the Amrit of immortality. The Asuras chasing the Devas, Vishnu, and the 4 drops of the Amrit spilling at the 4 locations of Prayagraj, Haridwar, Ujjain, Nasik. This Amrit of immortality is within us, as I said during this, or chanted during this sloka. From death to immortality, we do not have to die when we realize ourselves. So this Indian knowledge system, Bhagavad Gita, Kumbh Mela, Shivaratri, leading us to happiness and global well-being. I ask you now, for 1 minute, related to global well-being, all of the energies at the Kumbh Mela, the cosmic energies coming on the planet, the cosmic energies activated at the Kumbh Mela, take a moment now. I invite each of you, each and every one of you, breathe, take a moment, go inside, and feel gratitude for yourself, for being here, for being alive. Please take a moment without distraction. Do a little sadhana now, spiritual practice. Breathe, go within, breathe in your heart, and feel gratitude for being here together at this conference, for making the choice, each of you, to be here to learn more about and to practice more happiness, well-being, spirituality. Focus, breathe in your heart, the huge electromagnetic field of the heart, activated through your focus. And as you breathe and activate your own energy, Shakti, within your heart through gratitude, breathe and realize all of us together here, all of us attending this gathering with a common purpose. And breathe together and unify your energy and your breath and your Shakti, and contribute, as track 1 says, to global well-being through your own energy and through our collective energy, collective consciousness. 15 seconds of breathing, global consciousness. And I ask, with your eyes closed and breathing in your heart, we move to track 2. Mindfulness, mental resilience, well-being. So much in the Bhagavad Gita about stillness, equanimity, being mindful, being aware of who we are as Lord Krishna. The breath. Be conscious of your breath now. Be mindful of your breath. And I ask you to breathe 3 times. What I call a breath of release. 3 times, a deep inhale through the nostrils, and on the exhale, a long exhale through the mouth with a sigh. Inhaling, deep inhale, and exhale. 2 more times, and let me hear the exhale and the sigh. Deep inhale, and sigh through the mouth on the exhale. I don't hear the sigh. One more time. Inhale. And sigh and release on the exhale. And be mindful of your energy and your state through this releasing breath. And now, for 1 minute, a breath of relaxation, starting at the top of your head, any area of the body that is tight and contracted, breathe into it and relax. Relax the forehead, the mouth, the jaw. You might move that area of the body with your breath and movement. Relax your throat, your chest, your stomach, your thighs. Take 30 seconds to relax using your breath, being mindful, becoming resilient by relaxing. Relax the body. And now take a deep breath and slowly open your eyes if they're closed. And I'd like you to continue to participate with me. I think I have time. Related to mindfulness, stillness, resilience, I offer you a centering practice that's very ancient when we talk about Indian knowledge systems. There is an ancient centering practice. Would you like to learn this? You can practice this anytime during the day. Very simple, very quick. You start at the heart with your hands together. I ask you to do this with me. Bring your hands to your heart. And on the inhale, through your nostrils, you're going to raise one arm and lower one arm on the inhale. So you inhale, you raise one arm straight up, whichever, the left, let's say the left, straight up, and the other one at the same time goes down like this to be beside your navel. That's the inhale. On the exhale, your arm is to be straight all the way up, and your other hand's to be down to the side, not at your heart, down to the side next to your navel. And on the exhale, through the nostrils, you slowly come back, both hands to the heart on the exhale. Then you switch the hands. Raise the right one straight up and lower the left one down to the next to the navel, not the heart, next to the navel, down. And on the exhale, move slowly back to the heart. You are aligning your chakras, aligning with source. One more time, the left up on the inhale, left up and right down. On the exhale, slowly come back to the heart. We don't have enough time now, but I ask you to practice this during the day when you feel off center, when you want to be mindful and aligned and coherent. You do this practice. It's like this. You're aligning your chakras. You're aligning with source that you are. And finally, I move to track 5, leadership, ethics, and governance. I've done a lot of work with leadership development, working with organizational leaders, worked with UNICEF for many years. I am inspired, my dharma, part of my dharma, is to work with youth leadership, leadership of women, women's empowerment. We offer a girls' scholarship program for university through Shaktidan Foundation. I am inspired by women, divine feminine, by youth. I've written 2 articles recently about the Bhagavad Gita and what I call awakened leadership. We'll share the links to these 2 articles Thinking a follow-up message to all of you. I'm going to mention the 7 aspects that I came up with from the Bhagavad Gita, and I won't go into detail, there's not enough time. You can read the articles, and I'd love to contribute more in other ways. I'm going to read these 7 different aspects, and I ask you again to participate, because through participation, we evolve. We realize that inner power when we decide and participate and contribute, not just by listening, but by practicing and focusing, sadhana, discipline. So I mentioned these 7 aspects, a little bit about each, and I ask you to choose one of these, appreciate one of these as an aspect of leadership that you currently have within you, that you currently express, that you look at as a gift within yourself or a skill you have. So this is not about looking at who I am not. This is about looking about who I am as a leader right now. Are you ready? You agree? All right. How to be an awakened leader, unveiling the treasures of the Bhagavad Gita. Being a role model. Inspiring others, knowing your duty and responsibilities, and leading and directing and inspiring. Being a role model. Number 2, mindfulness and mind mastery. A lot of what we talked about already, what I talked about. And third one, adapting to change and uncertainty. Realizing change is constant, however, also realizing the unchangeable within. Equanimity. The fourth one, dharmic action and decision making. Surrendering to the highest, expressing your dharma and purpose. Realizing spiritual values in action. The fifth one, mastering the ego and the emotions, emotional intelligence, transcending ego. The sixth one, servant leadership, selfless service, seva, the welfare of others being the highest for you. And finally, building teamwork and unity. The collective power, multidimensionality, oneness. These are 7 aspects. Appreciate one of these within yourselves. And I complete with a question for you. Again, going inside, asking yourself, why am I here? Why am I at this conference for these 2 days? What drew me here? What do I want to happen? What do I want to create within myself by being here these 2 days? What is my intention? What is my intention? Each and every one of you, professors, leaders, students, scholars, whoever you are, male, female, young, older, what is my intention for being here? Take 30 seconds. When I walk out of here, how do I want to be different than I am when I walk into this room? You can close your eyes and visualize yourself, feel yourself changed, different by being here. Use the gift of God, imagination. Follow I am. I am who? What? By being here. Once again, I thank you. I am grateful to you. I respect you for being here, for being in this path of spirituality, spiritualism, this path of happiness, well-being, joy, bliss, self-realization, self-awareness, moksha, freedom, together. I so appreciate the School of Management Sciences, the Center for Spiritualism and Well-Being. And I offer myself, and whatever I can offer, however I can serve the school, the center, any or all of you, I am here for that. This is my dharma. This is my purpose. I have moved from suffering to heightened consciousness, from fear to love of all of you, to the joy of activating and creating Shiv Shakti, divine feminine, divine masculine, on this planet that is being brought about by the Pali crisis. And as we say with my guru in our community, Om JJ Sai Ma, I honor the divine feminine, the divinity, the power of self within you, within me, within us all. Om JJ Sai Ma.
For your pearls of wisdom. It's an honor to be blessed by you. I'm happy to see that our guest of honor, Professor Sadashiv Kumar Dwivedi, has already arrived. I request Professor Dwivedi to join the dignitaries on dais. I request Professor Sanjay Saxena to extend a floral welcome to Professor Sadashiv Kumar Dwivedi, Department of Sanskrit and Coordinator, Bharat Adhyayan Kendra, BHU. Our next guest of honor, Dr. C.A. Sharma, is an accomplished educator with extensive experience in both India and abroad, specializing in teaching, program development, institutional growth, financial management, and business expansion. He has authored several books and research papers covering diverse topics ranging from fuzzy financial ratios to spirituality. In addition to his scholarly work, Dr. Sharma has provided consultancy to corporations and prominent educational institutions. At present, Dr. Sharma holds the position of Dean Academics at the Indian School of Business Finance, University of London, London School of Economics and Political Science. Previously has served as a professor at Sri Ram College of Commerce, University of Delhi. He has also held leadership roles as director at both Maharaja Agrasen Institute of Management and JRE Group of Institution. He has led numerous workshops and training programs at various institutions, including the Punjab Police Academy, Ramanujan College, TIS Mumbai, to name a few. Let me quickly invite Professor Sharma to the podium.
Swami Parameshwar Das Ji Maharaj, Mahamandaleshwar, Professor P.N. Jha, Dr. Anita Madhok, Professor Sadashiv Kumar Dwivedi, my colleagues here at School of Management Studies, scholars, and students and ladies and gentlemen. We are talking about happiness and Indian knowledge systems. Two questions are there here, and that we need to dwell on. First, what is happiness? What do we really mean by happiness? Or well-being for that matter? And second question is, what is that Indian knowledge system which will ensure it? These two questions we need to answer. Happiness inside, happiness outside. Happiness at the level of microcosm or happiness at the level of macrocosm. We have to look at that. And two, the Indian knowledge system. So let us see one thing. There is a eternal question. Is it the macrocosm that determines the microcosm, or it is the microcosm that eventually creates the macrocosm? And that will decide the pursuit of happiness. From where do we begin? Do we begin from the societal level, or we begin from the level of individual? Just now, Swamiji left us all spellbound. Just now. His approach is from individual to the societal level. But is the world governed that way? That is a political question now. Question of happiness emanating from the politics of the whole. And this takes us to an entirely different realm, ladies and gentlemen. I would put it this way. The Vedas, first documentation of the worldly knowledge and the transcendental knowledge, the Vyavaharika and the Vyavaharik and the Paramarthik. First documentation. We had rishis, thinkers. We had dimension. This land had knowledge of, I would say, what not. I am sure there are learned people sitting here. The first land, I would just like to say one thing. In 15th century, 16th century of Europe, if you look at, there, you'd be surprised to know that to cure epilepsy, people would be running to collect the blood of the criminals who were beheaded and eat that. Thomas Willis, the famous neuroscientist who is known as father of neuroscience, he suggested that human poop, human excreta, vishtha, The powder of that is to be used for curing eye diseases, poop science. At that time here, in this land, we had Upavedanga, known as Ayurveda. But this very society fell into the spin of degradation. Why did it happen? That means there are forces that operate at the macro level and then decide the future, the lifestyle of what is at the micro level. I'm not saying this is the final word. It is just one perspective. So first thing is manage the society. Survival of the societal civilization. And that happens when you are strong, when you are powerful, and when you have technology. Forgive me to say, war technology. That is one aspect. You want to have happiness, you want to have society, you have safety first. Safety from the invasions. Otherwise, invaders will come, even if you are peaceful. Even if you don't want to aggress anybody, they will still come. And they will destroy your culture and overrun you completely. This is one. Now, given this, after that, we move to the other aspect. How do we ensure that? We ensure that by having, of course, now I'm not talking the politics at all. I just wanted to highlight this particular aspect for all the thinkers who are sitting here, that happiness will not come just like that by going inside only, though it is very important. We have to have a system for the safety of the society first. Technology, war technology particularly, is very important. After that, we think of evolving inside, maintaining calmness, everything else will come. So this is my perspective. This is my perspective, and it's not final. It can be commended or it can be condemned. I'm willing to accept both. This is one aspect. Now, second aspect, second important part of this. What can we do here in India? What are the forces that have influenced us and that are influencing us? And how Indian knowledge system, how and which aspects of Indian knowledge system can bring about happiness then? Ladies and gentlemen, now one aspect, first aspect. First aspect is reclaiming our roots. If we want to have lasting happiness, well-being on continued basis, where Indian knowledge systems flourish, then we have to reclaim that. And how do we reclaim it? And why do we reclaim it? First is why. Why do we need to reclaim? We need to reclaim because over the last 300 years, more particularly since the advent of the British, and before that the invasion from the Islamists, a new framework was given to the Indian knowledge systems here. And what was that framework? That framework was foreign to us. the very interpretation of Indian knowledge systems in Western terms. And what was that? The template, which was essentially Western, that template was imposed on us, and we are conditioned to think according to that. I'm saying conditioned to think, and I'll show it to you just now. Now, what was that template, Western template? Western template, let us look at some of the aspects. First, there is a single book. So, we were told we also have a single book, the Bhagavad Gita. 2, there are 10 commandments. So here we have Manusmriti. There is a Protestant revolution. So here we have Jainism and Buddhism revolting against the Vedic thought. There they had the heretic tradition. So here there is Tantra. We all know Tantra is not heretic. But according to the template, this came. Then, superordinate goal. The superordinate goal, we know what the superordinate goal for us is. We know, anybody who is, every Indian knows this. It is in our culture. Superordinate goal is to be one with the universe. The Rit cuts across the total social cosmic order. But no, we were told one goal. And goal was to ascend to the heaven. So like this, and then there was a clergy, the authoritarian clergy. So here the system was Brahminical. And over 300, 400 years time, the Indologists made sure that this was brought in our psyche. It is this template that we consciously need to demolish and get back to our own true philosophical base. One aspect. Second aspect, after this, we have to look at the education system. The total paradigm of education today is based on Western philosophy and the Western world view. If I ask any one of the scholars here, and I ask you, how did you proceed in your research, in your PhD? PhD is a process of creating research. PhD is a process through which we advance the frontiers of knowledge. PhD is something on the basis of, it is actually a research degree which helps us create new knowledge. Create new knowledge which would be acceptable. Now, what is the template? How do we do research? Research is very simple. There is an we make a research proposal. We write an introduction. We write the importance of that subject or the topic that we take. Then we do research, literature review. After literature review, we find out what are the gaps in the literature. Then after the gaps of literature, we identify the objectives, research questions, hypothesis, data analysis, conclusions. This is the template. This is a linear template. From where is it coming? Why do we do this only? If the PhD is not done in this manner, then it will not be acceptable. We will not grant you degree. Which knowledge is acceptable knowledge? So, only that knowledge is acceptable which is scientific. What do we mean by scientific? This scientific word or scientific process was first given by Galileo. And what did Galileo say? Galileo said the universe is written in the language of mathematics. For any knowledge to be acceptable knowledge, it must be expressed in terms of mathematical equations. Which means what? It should be quantified. It should be based on measurement. If it is not quantified, if it is not measured, this is no knowledge. I teach research methodology. And I teach research methodology because of the syllabus which is given to me by the university or universities or institutes. I teach it in the Western tradition only. And what is my first sentence as I enter the classroom? I say, like all professors of research methodology, anything which cannot be measured does not exist. So my students always ask me, sir, what about love? What about trust? You have done your PhD in trust. How do you say it does not exist? I say you measure it. Measure it through a questionnaire. Test its reliability, validity. Collect the data. And this will be acceptable then. Otherwise not. Measurement based. So anything which is not based on measurement is not acceptable. 2, it has to be based on objective observation. Objective. What does objective mean? Which is not inside the mind, outside the mind. So observation and measurement are the two major pillars Shall I continue? Yes. Or let this be over? Okay, no problem. All right, let me continue now. So observation based and measurement based. I'm not going into further details. Now when only that knowledge is acceptable knowledge which is based on objective observation and measurement, then anything which does not satisfy these two criteria is not acceptable knowledge. So all the rituals, all the festivals, all the practices, all the customs, all the traditions, they all come under a question mark. And what has happened as a result of this? All the people of this land, this great land which gave the world 4 Vedas, 4 Upavedas, 6 Vedangs, 4 Upavedangs, 64 Kalas, 64 Shastras of that type. In this land, everything that belongs to this land has come under a question mark. And look at this. I come from Delhi, born, brought up there. I talk about that place. I do not know what happens here in Banaras. The most important institution of life, which is responsible for the continuation of civilization and human existence in a balanced way, is marriage. In whole of North India, I do not know about this place, sir. There, in the marriage function, the most important ritual is when we take rounds of the sacred fire. And the mantras are spoken by priest. Least respected person in the whole function is the priest.
The most expected.
Sir, should be. 2. When this ritual takes place, at that time hardly 10, 15, 20 family members would be present. Otherwise 1,000 people will come, have a lavish dinner, to pass it out early in the morning in the toilet. This is the cultural degradation of this philosophical influence upon the society of the Western paradigm, that only that knowledge will be acceptable which is based on objective observation and measurement. And why do they say so? They say this universe is a mechanistic entity. This is an axiom which is unchallengeable in the Western philosophy, Western thought. Universe is mechanistic. Nature is mechanical. There is no consciousness. There is nothing like consciousness. Swamiji just now left us spellbound by doing a small exercise of harnessing the energy. He was taking us to higher level of consciousness. Actually, he did take us to a higher level of consciousness through a simple exercise. Right now, we have experienced it. But according to Western philosophy, this is falsehood. According to that philosophy, it does not exist. There is a Richard Dawkins school of thought, very famous. They say there is nothing like pain. In California Institute of Technology, they have run experiments, Swamiji, where they have proven that pain is illusory. And insurance companies were being persuaded at that stage not to fund pain treatments. This is important. So what happens is, when we have our research scholars, our academics, Swamiji and Professor Chaturvedi particularly, when these conferences take place, when research takes place, then these subtle aspects that is in the undercurrent of the knowledge systems that are going on, they are ignored by us. I am raising this matter here because I know very enlightened audiences here. Researchers are sitting here, practitioners like Swamiji are here, spiritual leaders are there, and academic leaders are here. Professor H.K. Singh is here. I think, Professor H.K. These academic leaders like him, like Professor Chaturvedi, like Professor Jha, they are here. And there are a lot of PhD holders here. There are a lot of people here who are supervising research work going on. We need to understand this. If you are talking of happiness, which happiness are you talking about? Are you talking of happiness on continual sustainable basis? We can talk about it when we understand the philosophical undercurrents of what is happening in the society. That needs to be changed. And that will be changed when discussion like this takes place in conferences like this. 2, another aspect. Here, in one of the tracks, it is mentioned that there will be discussion, education for holistic growth. Now, what is happening in the educational and what has happened in the education in India over the years? 2 important things I will tell you. I was member of a committee which evaluated the curriculum from class 1 up to class 12 in different disciplines. And you know what struck me most? What struck me most was that there was not a single sentence, there was not a single story, there not a single narrative, not a single mention of the fact that you respect your parents, love your parents, seek guidance from the parents. These sentences were conspicuously missing, except in one book that was of class 10 of Sanskrit. That's all. And what is our culture otherwise? What do the knowledge systems of India say? Taittiriya Upanishad. Sir, Matri Devo Bhav, Pitri Devo Bhav, Janani Janama Bhumischa, Swargadapi Gariyasi. Mother is superior to heaven. Father, mother are like deities. I have conducted a social experiment, Swamiji, and that experiment I have done several times. Professor Chaturvedi. No, Professor Dwivedi. You please do this experiment anytime you like. The professor's here. Ask a student, what is your father's name? What is your mother's name? They will not say Mr. Vinod Kumar or Mrs. Savita. They will say Vinod Kumar Savita. You ask them to take the name of their driver, father, brother in the same breath. You would not be able to distinguish whether it is a driver's name or father's name. And that is the children of the land where we say Matri Devo Bhav, Pitri Devo Bhav. Why has it happened? It has happened because the classroom, what has happened to the classroom? 3 very important things or 4 very important things have happened to the classroom. Number 1, education is essentially a political process. Teaching is a political process, social political process. So, a simple problem of class 2, where we are teaching 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, this problem can be converted into a discussion of race, religion, gender, and so on. Number 2, second change that has taken place. A student is not to accept all the knowledge given by the authoritarian teacher. What is our culture? Guru Brahma at one stage, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara. So Guru is not Guru. Guru is an authoritarian teacher, authoritarian figure to be challenged. And look at this. Laws have come to support this particular philosophical thesis. What are the laws? You cannot in the classroom say to a student at school level, nalayak. A student is not doing well, you call him or her, why have you not done the homework? He goes back to the home, says to the parent that I have been questioned in the classroom, father and mother both go to the police station, the teacher is arrested. For asking the student, why have you not done the homework? So what the teacher has done? Teacher has withdrawn. The Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara has withdrawn. Withdrawn from providing mentorship. Third philosophy, third aspect that has entered the classroom. Third aspect that has entered is that lived experience of the student would be the curriculum. This is actually happening. Laws have been passed for this here in this land. We are not aware. Educationists are not aware. So what is the lived experience? What I feel, what my student feels is more important. And any effort which is made to correct that lived experience, that becomes oppression. So, students are taught in one way, challenge the power structures. And the fourth thing, very important thing has come now. In the name of comprehensive sex education, it is not comprehensive sex education, it is comprehensive sexuality object education. So gender is fluid. An impact of that gender fluidity is what? Supreme Court, Chief Justice of Supreme Court of India in one of his speeches says, your gender is what you think when you get up in the morning. So today morning, I am female. And after 2 hours, I am a male. Then I am again a female. No, now I am transgender. Oh, come on. And what? LGBTQAI plus. It used to be LGBT, LGBTQ, LGBTQ plus, LGBTQAI plus. And what is that plus? Do you know what is that plus? That plus is preference for males with preference for minors. Now you are justifying pedophilia. I know schools where once a week a male comes wearing the dress of a woman, and he would act like a woman who does not exist. So, if this is the system, if this is the education, where gender fluidity has become important, where pedophilia is being justified, whereas queer pedagogy is being promoted. What is queer pedagogy? Just a moment. 5 more minutes, please. Am I allowed, sir? 5 minutes. 5 more minutes? What is queer pedagogy? Queer pedagogy is challenge what is normal. So what is normal? We touch the feet of our teachers. Normal. We have marriage. Normal. We have some defined roles for men and women. Normal. Nothing is normal. So this needs to be addressed. And who will address it? It will be addressed by the intellectual class. And how? It will be addressed when we understand, each one of us understands, what does Indian knowledge system really stand for? And what does Indian knowledge system really stand for? It stands for its core. And the core is very clear. Core is, we start with ego, aham. Then ego is which experiences. Ego is which takes us into action. And this ego works through the layers of what we call body and mind. Body physical, body mental, body spiritual. And this ego body complex and mind complex is governed by what we call the conditioning coming from our karmas, including the past karmas. And goal is to transcend this conditioning and being one with the universe. Purpose of life is to be one with universe. Purpose of life is to be our true form, that is the Atma. It was this exercise that Swamiji did. He was talking of chakras, he was talking of breathing exercise, he was talking of a part of the prana. Atma gives consciousness through prana. When we work on prana, automatically we go to Atma. From Atma, we get connected to Paramatma. That is the purpose of life. This purpose of life has to be integrated into the educational system. So, dharma of Atma has to become integral. In the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha. Dvediji, I interpret it in a different way. Shreyan, Shreyaskar, superior is the dharma of Swa. Dharma that sustains us. Dharma is something that sustains us. So dharma of Swa, what is Swa? Swa is Atma. And what is the dharma of Atma? Dharma of Atma, Swamiji said, love, prem. Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha. If you follow the dharma of Atma, you go beyond the gunas. Dvediji, I am interpreting Viguna as going beyond. Beyond gunas, of which this cosmos is made. At least the Vyavaharik, what is the cosmos? That is there. So it is this aspect that needs to be integrated into the Indian education system. Then and only then will we be able to talk about a sustainable, long-term happiness and joy for us all. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Warmest regards and heartfelt thanks to you, sir. And now the chief guest of the inaugural session, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor A.K. Tyagi has arrived. We are going to have a formal ceremonial beginning. On this auspicious occasion, we'll have a traditional ceremony of lighting the lamp. May I kindly invite our distinguished dignitaries on the dais to join us for lamp lighting ceremony. Islam guide us towards insightful deliberations. I request the chief guest of honor, to praise the rise again and have their respective seats. Today's chief guest, Dr. Anand Tyagi, experienced professor and administrator with a demonstrated history of extraordinary performance in the higher education industry, strong background of more than 35 years of teaching and research in material physics, condensed matter physics, and materials science and engineering, with excellent time-tested skills of academic administration and leadership. He has worked as professor for nearly 18 years at Shaheed Bhagat Singh State University, Firozpur. Being one of the senior-most professor and one of the founding members of the university, he constructively contributed to the university's endeavor of propelling the state of technology-driven society and introduced a number of new innovations. Professor Tyagi had been instrumental in developing curriculum, teaching, and examination schemes for a number of programs. He has also bagged a number of prestigious international national awards and recognitions. We seek your blessing, sir. Kindly come to the podium.
सभागार में उपस्थित सभी लोगों को नमस्कार। इस कॉन्फ्रेंस के लिए बहुत ही उपयुक्त एक शीर्षक रखा गया है। सही से देखें तो विकास का पैमाना हमारा प्रसन्नता का स्तर ही है। हम कितने खुश हैं, कितने प्रसन्न हैं, कोई समाज, कोई देश कितना खुश है, कितना प्रसन्न है, कितना स्वस्थ है, संभवतः यही चीज़ निर्धारित करती है कि हम कितने विकसित हैं। यदि हम पूरे विश्व का परिदृश्य देखें तो कुछ चीज़ें हमें साफ तौर पे नज़र आती हैं कि विकास की जो परिभाषा मानव मात्र में इस दुनिया में बनाई है वो वास्तव में प्रासंगिक है कि नहीं, संभवतः यही सबसे विलक्षण प्रश्न है जिसका उत्तर आज मानवता को खोजना होगा। हम लोग ऐसी अनेक चीज़ें करते हैं जिनका संभवतः प्रसन्नता से या स्वस्थ होने से कोई संबंध नहीं है। और सबसे पहली ज़रूरत जो संभवतः आज की है कि हमें सूचना में और ज्ञान में विभेद करना होगा। हमें जो आज की टेक्नोलॉजी है, जो आज का कौशल है, उसमें भी विभेद करना होगा कि कौन सी ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जो मानवता को कुशलता की तरफ, मानवता को प्रसन्नता की तरफ, मानवता को एक अच्छे स्वास्थ्य की तरफ लेके जाती। यदि हम विगत के कुछ वर्षों का परिदृश्य देखें तो निश्चित रूप से हमें कुछ चीज़ें दिखाई पड़ती। इनमें सबसे पहली चीज़ जो हमें देखने को मिलती है वो 20वीं शताब्दी में हम लोगों ने मूर्त रूप में देखा कि जो ज्ञान विज्ञान ने मानवता के कष्टों के निवारण की जो एक परिभाषा रचित की और उसी के अनुरूप अनेक अन्वेषण हुए, इनोवेशंस हुए, क्या वास्तव में उससे मानवता की भलाई हुई? हमारी प्रसन्नता के स्तर में कोई बढ़ोतरी हुई? सबसे बड़ा जो यदि हम देखें अन्वेषण, वो हमारा नाभिकीय ऊर्जा का था, जिसको हमारे विकसित देशों ने ये क्लेम किया कि इससे मानवता के सभी दुखों का अंत हो जाएगा, इससे मानवता की शाश्वतता भी सुनिश्चित होगी, क्योंकि हमारी वातावरण और ऊर्जा से संबंधित जितनी भी ज़रूरतें हैं, जितनी भी हमारी चुनौतियां हैं, वो इससे ओवरनाइट सॉल्व हो जाएंगे। लेकिन अंतोदगता हुआ क्या कि वही सारा ज्ञान, वही सारी प्रौद्योगिकी मानवता के विध्वंस के लिए काम आई। और द्वितीय विश्व युद्ध में हम लोगों ने देखा कि ज्ञान की प्रौद्योगिकी की जो पराकाष्ठा जिसके ऊपर मानव मात्र इतरा रहा था, वो मानवता के विध्वंस का कारण बनी। यदि हम इन तमाम चीज़ों को अपने पुरातन इतिहास में देखें, भारतीय परंपराओं में उसका उत्तर झांकें, तो हमारे यहाँ तो साफ तौर पे लिखा है कि ज्ञान वही है जो हमें प्रकृति के साथ समन्वय बिठा के सह अस्तित्व भावना के साथ जीना सिखाए। ज्ञान केवल संसाधनों और आराम के साधनों का उपलब्ध कराना मात्र नहीं है, उसका परम उद्देश्य तो केवल यही है कि हम इस ग्रह पे मानवता की शाश्वतता सुनिश्चित करें और जो हमारे विशिष्ट परंपराएं हैं उनको निभाते हुए एक ऐसी स्वस्थ मानव जाति की रचना करें जहां पे हम आज की जो ग्लोबल सिटीजन की बात करते हैं, वैश्विक नागरिक की बात करते हैं, वो सीधे तौर पे सिद्ध हो जाए। वो कब सिद्ध होगी? जब हमारे सबके उद्देश्य एक जैसे होंगे, हम अपने निहित स्वार्थों में न बंध के मानवता के लिए काम करेंगे, तभी ये तमाम चीज़ें संभव हैं। अभी तो सब कुछ कंपार्टमेंटाइज किया हुआ है। कई बार हमने भूगोल के आधार पे अपने को बांट लिया है, कई बार हमने धर्म के नाम पे, कई बार हमें उपमहाद्वीप के नाम पे, कई बार महाद्वीप के नाम पे, कई बार देश के नाम पे, कई बार जाति और धर्म के नाम पे। अब ये तमाम चीज़ें ऐसी हैं जो संभवतः ज्ञान के एकदम खिलाफ है। यदि हम ज्ञान की बात करेंगे तो उसमें कहीं नहीं आता कि आप मानवता का विभाजन करिए। वहाँ पे तो सीधे तौर पे ये आता है कि हम लोग सब एक साथ रहें, हमारे सबके इंटरेस्ट एक जैसे हों, प्राथमिकताएं एक जैसी हों, और हम ये सुनिश्चित करें कि जो भी हमारे आसपास की चीज़ें हैं, वो हमारा वायुमंडल है, वो हमारी ज़मीन है, वो हमारा आसमान है, वो सब हम बिना प्रदूषित किए जीने की एक ऐसी राह तलाशें जिसमें ये तमाम चीज़ें इसी विशुद्धता के साथ, इसी अनवरत प्रक्रम के साथ हमारी आने वाली तमाम पीढ़ियों के लिए ऐसे ही उपलब्ध रहें। यदि इस उपलब्धता में कहीं कोई थोड़ी सी भी कमी आती है, वो भले ही विकास के नाम पे आती हो, वो भले ही परंपराओं के नाम पे आती हो, वो भले ही विभक्तिकरण के नाम पे आती हो, निसंदेह वो अवांछनीय है। वांछित क्या है इसके बारे में अभी प्रोफेसर शर्मा ने बहुत डिटेल में बताया सारी चीज़ें। हमारी भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा क्या कहती है, ये तमाम चीज़ें अब किसी से छिपी नहीं। ये प्रौद्योगिकी का युग है, अब सारी चीज़ें हमारे अपने मोबाइल फ़ोन में, हमारे अपने लैपटॉप में, हमारे चारों तरफ हवा में घूम रही हैं। अब सबसे बड़ी चुनौती हमारे सामने क्या है कि इसमें से हमें अंगीकार क्या करना है। हम लोग सभी जानते हैं, और संभवतः जो शिक्षा जगत से जुड़े हैं, जो अध्यापक हैं, वो तो पूर्णतया इस बात से अवगत हैं कि जो इन्फॉर्मेशन हमारे पास आभासी दुनिया में है उसका लगभग 70% गलत है, तर्कसंगत नहीं है, युक्ति युक्त नहीं है। केवल 30% ऐसा है जो हमारी भलाई के काम का है। अब ये पूरा का पूरा जो एक तूफान है सूचना का, ये तो हमें सबको वैसे ही अभिभूत करते जा रहा है, और इस बीच में ये निर्णय करना कि क्या हमारे काम का है और क्या हमारे काम का नहीं है, संभवतः यही सबसे बड़ा सवाल है। और मुझे लगता है कि जैसे आज ये हमारी सेमिनार हो रहा है, कॉन्फ्रेंस हो रहा है, उनमें हमारा सबसे पहला संकल्प, सबसे पहला हमारा अहद, सबसे पहली हमारी एक निर्णय यही होना चाहिए कि हम अपने नवयुवाओं को, अपनी नई पीढ़ी को इस बात के लिए अवगत कराएं कि ये वो निर्णय कैसे करें कि क्या उनके लाभ का है, क्या मानवता के लाभ का है और क्या उनके लाभ का नहीं है। इतिहास साक्षी है कि जो चीज़ें सुनने में, देखने में बहुत अच्छी लगती हैं, कई बार वो हमारे फायदे की नहीं होती। उनके प्रति जो हमारी लालसा है, उनके प्रति जो हमारा लगाव है, उनके प्रति जो हम अंधी दौड़ में जुड़ जाते हैं, वही एक ऐसी चीज है जिसको हमें बाधित करना है। अब ये बाधित करने का प्रक्रम यदि हम बहुत ज़्यादा क्लिष्ट हो जाएंगे तो संभवतः नहीं कर पाएंगे, क्योंकि आज के युवा को या नवयुवतियों को आप ये समझाना शुरू करें कि आप हमारी ये उपनिषद पढ़ लीजिए, हमारा ये वेद पढ़ लीजिए, हमारा ये ज्ञान पढ़ लीजिए, तो संभवतः है ये एक ऐसी चेष्टा होगी जो संभवतः कभी भी फलीभूत नहीं होगी। अब हमें ज़रूरत इस बात की है कि जो ज्ञान संग्रह हमारे इस खजाने में है उसको हम कैसे अपनी नई पीढ़ी के लिए उपयुक्त बनाएं, संभवतः यही सबसे पहली चुनौती। और आप आसपास देखेंगे कि बड़ी तेज़ी से हमारे समाज में परिवर्तन हो रहे हैं, और ये परिवर्तन ऐसे हैं कि हम खुद को नहीं पहचान रहे। हमने खुद की अपनी जो अच्छी परंपराएं, जो भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा से प्रभावित होती थी हमारे अपने देश में, वो लगभग मृतप्राय हो चुकी। हमारी एक सामाजिक व्यवस्था थी, हमारे पास जो कौशल के लिए एक विशेष स्थान होता था। आप लोग खुद याद करेंगे कि जो लोग नाव चलाते थे, नाविक होते थे, और जब भी उनको सबसे पहले भगवान का स्वरूप माना जाता था, केवट का स्वरूप माना जाता था, और ये माना जाता था कि वो हमें इस भवसागर से पार लगाते हैं, भले ही वो हमें नदी से पार लगाते थे। जब भी कोई काम होता था सबसे पहले उनको बुला के उनकी पूजा होती थी। इसी तरह तमाम चीज़ें यदि आप देखेंगे अपने पुराने समाज की, वो सब चीज़ें खत्म हो गई। उसकी परिणति क्या हो रही है कि ये सारे लोग जो पहले हमारे देश में, हमारे समाज में एक रूपता के साथ फैले हुए थे, वो सब इकट्ठे हो गए। अब यदि आपको कटिंग कराने जाना है तो आपको बनारस आना पड़ेगा, शहर में आना पड़ेगा। आपको अपने सबअर्बन एरिया में या गांव में आपको ठीक से बाल काटने वाला नहीं मिलेगा, जबकि पहले मिलता था। तो ये तमाम ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जिसमें अपरोक्ष रूप से हमने कौशल को जो सम्मान देना है उससे विरक्ति ले ली। आप खुद सोच सकते हैं कि मैं यहाँ पे आया हूँ, जो ड्राइवर मेरी कार चला के लेके आया है, क्या वो मेरे से कम महत्वपूर्ण है? या जो गनर मेरे साथ चलता है, जो मेरी सुरक्षा करता है, क्या वो मेरे से कम महत्वपूर्ण है? या एक क्लर्क जो बैठ के सुबह से शाम तक सारे बच्चों के साथ डील करता है, वो क्या कम महत्वपूर्ण है? लेकिन अब हम सामाजिक पैमाने में इन तमाम चीज़ों को नहीं मानते। बात हम करेंगे अपनी पुरानी सारी सभ्यताओं की, संस्कृतियों की, मानवीय मूल्यों की, लेकिन ये छोटी छोटी बातें हमने इनको तिलांजलि दे दी। क्या इस बदले हुए समाज में, क्या इस बदले हुए परिवेश में वो तमाम चीज़ें, वो गूढ़ ज्ञान जो हमारे साहित्य में, हमारे ग्रंथों में लिखा पड़ा है, वो हमारे बच्चों के लिए सुग्राह्य होगा? इन तमाम सवालों पे हमें गंभीरता से विचार करने की ज़रूरत है। देखिए, हमें दूसरे देशों से सीखना भी होगा कि इन विकट परिस्थितियों में, जबकि वो विध्वंस के कगार पे पहुंच गए थे, कैसे वो दोबारा से उठे और दोबारा से विश्व के अग्रणी देश बन गए। हमारे देश ने ये पूरी तरह पूरे विश्व को विगत में, पुरातन काल में ये दिखाया भी है कि सबसे सशक्त मानवता का वही क्षेत्र हो सकता है जो ज्ञान की पूजा करता है। भारत पहले विश्व गुरु बना, ज्ञान के बल पे बना। विदेशों से लोग यहाँ पे कंदराएं समुद्र पार करके आते थे, जान को हथेली पे रख के आते थे। किस लिए आते थे? ज्ञान प्राप्ति के लिए आते थे। लेकिन हम खुद इस ज्ञान से विमुक्त हुए। हमने इस ज्ञान की पूजा करनी छोड़ दी, हम किसी और दूसरी तरफ चल पड़े। हमें दूसरे लोग अच्छे लगने लगे, अपनी तमाम चीजें हमें बुरी लगने लगी। देखिए, गूढ़ ज्ञान का भाषण देना बहुत आसान है। उन चीजों को बार बार बताना केवल पिष्ट पेषण मात्र होगा यदि हम उनको मूर्त रूप करने में सक्षम नहीं। मुझे यहाँ बनारस में आने का मौका मिला। वैसे तो मैं साइंस का विद्यार्थी हूँ, लेकिन इस बीच में मैंने तमाम चीज़ों को बहुत पास से देखा। मुझे हमारे यहाँ पे बनारस में एक संस्कृत यूनिवर्सिटी है जो हिंदुस्तान की सबसे पुरानी यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में है, उनके साथ भी जुड़ने का मौका मिला। हमारे प्रोफेसर पी नाग जी बैठे हैं, उन्होंने भी ये तमाम चीज़ें बहुत करीब से देखी। और जब भी हम सारे लोग एक साथ बैठते हैं तो ये तमाम चीज़ों पे विचार विमर्श होता है और ऐसी तमाम संभावनाएं तलाशने की हम लोग कोशिश करते हैं, विमर्श करते हैं, योजनाएं बनाते हैं कि कैसे आज के युवा को, आज की युवतियों को हम अपने पुरातन ज्ञान का रस चखा सकें, उनमें आकर्षण पैदा कर सकें कि ये ज्ञान ही वास्तव में वो ज्ञान है जिसकी हमें ज़रूरत है, जिसकी मानवता को ज़रूरत है। ये ज्ञान देखिए बहुत शक्तिशाली इस रूप में है क्योंकि ये हमें प्रकृति के साथ रहना सिखाता है। ये हमें प्रकृति का दोहन नहीं सिखाता। आप लोग खुद देख सकते हैं कि ये अंधा दोहन जो है, इससे कभी उन्नति नहीं हो सकती। आप एक छोटा सा देश है जापान, जो लगभग हमारे साथ ही आज़ाद हुआ था। वहाँ पे तो कोई खनिज नहीं है, वहाँ पे तो कोई पेट्रोलियम नहीं है, लेकिन फिर भी उन्होंने उन्नति की। मानवीय गुणों के आधार पे उन्होंने उन्नति की। उनके पास कोई संसाधन नहीं है और द्वितीय विश्व युद्ध में तो लगभग उनको ख़त्म कर दिया गया था, लेकिन उसके बाद भी वो पहले 30 साल में दुनिया का अग्रणी देश बन गए। और हम आज 70, 75, 78 साल बाद भी लड़ रहे हैं और हम अभी भी तीसरे विश्व में गिने जाते हैं। ऐसे क्या कारण है? उन लोगों ने क्या किया? उन लोगों ने एक ऐसी अच्छी नीति बनाई जिसमें शिक्षा को सबसे ऊपर रखा गया, मानवीय गुणों को सबसे ऊपर रखा गया, कौशल को सम्मान दिया गया। उन्होंने उन्नति की। हम लोगों ने क्या किया कि ज्ञान के जो 3 पहलू हैं, जिसमें पहला सूचना है, दूसरा कौशल है और तीसरा मानवीय गुण है, हमने केवल सूचना पे ध्यान दिया। हम बच्चों को केवल सूचनाएं देते रहे और बाकी जो दूसरी चीज़ें हैं, कौशल है और जो हमारे मानवीय गुण हैं, वो हमारे विस्मृत हो गए, भूल गए। तो हमें जो पढ़ाना चाहिए था उसका 33% ही हम लोगों ने किया और ये लगातार हम करते चले गए 75, 78, 80 साल तक। बिल्कुल भी जागृत नहीं हुए। अब समय आ गया है कि पहले तो हमें जागना पड़ेगा, तंद्रा को छोड़ना पड़ेगा और साथ में जो हमारा विभक्तिकरण हुआ है, जो हम बटे हैं, कंपार्टमेंटाइजेशन हुआ है, हम साइलोज में काम कर रहे हैं, उस प्रवृत्ति को अभी तिलांजलि देनी होगी। से मैं भौतिक विज्ञानी हूं तो मुझे लगता है कि भौतिक विज्ञान ही सबसे बढ़िया है, बाकी सारी चीजें बेकार हैं। मैं संस्कृत का हूं तो मुझे लगता है कि मैं ही केवल विद्वान हूं, बाकी सब किसी को कुछ नहीं आता है। एक प्रवृत्ति बन गई है कि दुनिया में 2 बुद्धि हैं, उस 2 बुद्धि में से 1.5 मेरे पास है और आधी में पूरी दुनिया है। इस प्रवृत्ति को छोड़ना होगा। देखिए, मान के चलिए कि ज्ञान बहुत बड़ी चीज है, इसका छोटा सा हिस्सा हम लोगों को आता है। बहुत ज्ञान अथाह सागर है और इसमें तो हम रोज सीख सकते हैं। और यदि हमारे अंदर अभी बात आई, थोड़ी देर पहले शर्मा जी ने बहुत सुंदर बात कही थी कि यदि ईगो की बात आई तो निसंदेह ये एक सबसे बड़ा परफॉर्मेंस बस्टर है। यहीं पे सारी चीजें, सारी खिड़कियां, सारे दरवाजे सब बंद हो जाते हैं, कोई हवा बाहर से नहीं आती। हम अपने आप को महान समझते रहते हैं और इसी तरह तमाम चीजें चलती रहती। तो सबसे पहले तो हमें हवा के सारे रास्ते खोलने होंगे, रोशनी के सारे रास्ते खोलने होंगे। जहाँ जहाँ से जो अच्छी चीज़ें हमें मिल सकती हैं वो हमें लेनी होंगी, और उन सब का भारतीयकरण करते हुए जो हमारी ज्ञान परंपरा है उसको इसमें समाहित करके एक बार फिर से पूरे विश्व को ये दिखाना होगा कि ज्ञान में क्या शक्ति है। इसी ज्ञान की शक्ति के बल पे हिंदुस्तान, हमारा देश भारत सबसे अग्रणी देश रहा, पूरे विश्व का गुरु रहा, सारे विश्व को ज्ञान बांटता रहा। तो क्या हम दोबारा ऐसा नहीं कर सकते? हम दोबारा भी कर सकते हैं। हमने तो पूरे विश्व को पहले करके दिखाया है एक बार। हमारी तो ग्रंथों में तमाम चीजें लिखी हुई हैं, लेकिन उन सब चीजों को हमें सुग्राह्य बनाना होगा और उसका एक एक्सपेरिमेंट करके पूरे विश्व को दिखाना होगा, ताकि एक बार फिर से विश्व हमारी तरफ आकर्षित हो और जो हमारी परंपराएं हैं, जो हमारा ज्ञान है, वो एक बार फिर से मानवता के हित के लिए उपयोग हो। और साथ ही साथ इसमें यह भी सुनिश्चित हो कि जैसे द्वितीय विश्व युद्ध में हुआ कि मानवता का विध्वंस नहीं, इसके लिए कोई स्थान नहीं है। हम तो चाहते हैं सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सबका भला हो। हमारे लिए तो पूरा विश्व भाई के समान है, सब एक जैसे हैं। अब तो ग्लोबल सिटीजन की बात तो दुनिया अब करती है, विकसित देश अब करते हैं, हम लोग तो बहुत पहले से करते हैं, पूरी मानवता को एक साथ लेके चलते हैं। तो ऐसे तमाम आयुध जो हमारे भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा के खजाने में अंतर्निहित हैं, उन सब आयुधों को बाहर निकालना होगा और उन सब का भारतीयकरण और आज के समय के अनुरूप बना के हमारी पूरी आने वाली पीढ़ी को उससे सुसज्जित करना होगा। और जो ये बुराई की लड़ाई चारों तरफ फैल रही है पूरी दुनिया में, हम तभी उससे पार पा सकते हैं। मुझे पूर्ण आशा है कि अब हमारे देश में, हमारे प्रदेश में इस तरह की शुरुआत हो चुकी है। हर व्यक्ति, हमारे हर शिक्षाविद, हमारे सभी बच्चे इस बात के लिए संज्ञानित हैं कि हमें अब क्या करना होगा। बस बात यही है कि किसी को शुरुआत करनी है। भारतेंदु हरिश्चंद्र हमारे बनारस शहर से ही आते हैं, हिंदी के बहुत बड़े लेखक हैं। उन्होंने बहुत सुंदर तरीके से कहा था कि हर भारतीय एक रेल का डब्बा है, केवल एक इंजन की ज़रूरत है। यदि अच्छा इंजन मिल गया तो फिर हम सभी वंदे भारत की स्पीड से दौड़ेंगे। मुझे पूर्ण आशा है कि बहुत शीघ्र ये तमाम चीज़ें होंगी और जो हमारे सारे शिक्षाविद, हमारे सारे बच्चे आज यहाँ जुड़े हैं, हमें यहीं से शुरुआत करनी है कि जो भी भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा है, कम से कम उसके प्रति पहले हम गौरवान्वित हों। पहले तो इस बात को हम महसूस करें कि दुनिया के हम सबसे श्रेष्ठतम मानवता के हिस्से हैं। यदि हम यहाँ से शुरू करेंगे तो कोई हमें रोक नहीं सकता, हम एक बार फिर से विश्व गुरु बन पाएंगे। मैं सभी जो हमारे विशेषज्ञ आज यहाँ पे जुड़े, उन सब का बहुत धन्यवादी हूँ, क्योंकि ये सारे हमारे कॉलेजेस हमारी काशी विद्यापीठ के साथ ही एफिलेटेड हैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं मैं सीधे तौर पे इनका हिस्सा हूँ। तो मैं पूरे विद्यापीठ परिवार की तरफ से आप सभी का धन्यवाद अदा करता हूँ। और इसके साथ ही साथ जो हमारे मेहमान दूसरे देशों से आए हैं या दूसरे प्रदेशों से, दूरस्थ स्थानों से आए हैं, उन सभी का अभिनंदन करता हूँ, अभिवादन करता हूँ। और आयोजक हमारे SMS महाविद्यालय का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूं कि इन्होंने एक सुंदर उपक्रम किया है। और मुझे पूर्ण आशा है कि जो अब हम बात करते हैं, जो हम अब खुशी की और एक अच्छी कुशलता की, मानवता की, श्रेष्ठता की, उसके स्थायित्व की बातें करते हैं, उसमें ये आयोजन एक मील का पत्थर साबित होगा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
कोटि शहनाई वचनों से हम सभी के लिए हम सभी आभारी हैं. Let me now take the opportunity to introduce our next guest of honor, Dr. Anita Madhok, a leading coaching psychologist and managing director of Open Spaces Consulting in Mumbai, a global professional, HR systems expert, people person, creative thinker and writer, much sought after speaker, academician of repute, behavioral scientist and experienced trainer. Dr. Anita draws upon ancient wisdom from India to throw light on modern day situations with clarity and conviction. Her approach has always been to create integrative and inclusive, holistic frameworks and perspective for the work that she does. She holds an honors degree in psychology from Lady Shri Ram College, an MBA in HRD from XLRI, and PhD in managerial leadership from Punjab University. Her career spans over 12 years in the corporate sector in companies like DCM and Marico, followed by leadership roles in academia, including Dean position in Narsi Monjee University and SP Jain Center of Management, Dubai and Singapore. Dr. Anita is internationally certified with credentials from the International Coach Federation and SHRM and serves on various boards. Dear audience, let's welcome Dr. Anita Madhok.
And thank you to the audience for bearing with me. I know it's close to lunchtime and everybody will be very keen to have lunch. But I'd like to address everybody on the dais, Professor P.N. Jha, for inviting me here. Honorary guest of honor, Swami Parameshwar Das Maharaj Ji, I was very inspired by your words as well. And our very energetic and young at heart Professor C.S. Sharma, with so much of power and energy he spoke. And of course Professor Anand Tyagi, whose words, every word I was hanging on to with so much attention and so much clarity he has spoken. I'm also waiting to listen to Professor Sadashiv Kumar Dwivedi, who will be coming after me. I think today's inaugural session has laid a very wide canvas of Indian knowledge systems, and I do believe today we are all immersed in what I call a Gyan Snan. We do the Ganga Snan, we do all kinds of snans, but this is a Gyan Snan. We are totally immersed in this wonderful Ganga of knowledge. But I tell you, the river of knowledge, just like the river of Ganga, is a river that flows. And my eternal faith is you never enter the same river twice. You never enter the same rivers twice. You can stand on the banks of the river Ganga, you can have a snan and you come out. Next morning you go back and you have another snan. It's a different river. The river has flowed on. And each time you enter the river, it's a different and unique river. So also, knowledge has been there in the past, and to me it was complete and perfect every time I look at it. I am too small an individual to look at the past knowledge and say how complete it was. But every time I need to look for something that will help me understand life, I find it there. I find it there in the past knowledge. But the river of knowledge flows on. It doesn't mean that new knowledge is better than or worse than the old knowledge. And worshippers of Ma Saraswati, whom we garlanded just now, will respect and worship the knowledge of the past and the present and the future as well. Because you never enter the same river twice, whether it is the Ganga or it's the river of knowledge. I'm a firm believer that each one of us human beings is an individual soul on a journey. And 64 crore people attended the Kumbh Mela. I was just one of the fragments in that. And 64 crore people had Ganga Snan. And 64 crore people had a different Ganga Snan. No two Ganga Snans were identical. Yet, we are all interconnected. We are each individual soul on a journey. Each individual soul on a journey. Everyone's journey is different, and yet we are all connected. Everything is connected to everything. There is a cause and effect, a law of karma that binds us, a law of a grand design which is sometimes beyond our comprehension, that connects each one of us. I also believe that the world is nothing but a karmic stage. The fact that we are in the Kali Yuga today, some of our rivers are polluted, the air is polluted, there's criminality around us, politicians are corrupt, law and order is breaking down, so social norms like marriage and gender stereotypes are breaking down. I believe these are all karmic confrontations. These are all, the world is nothing but a stage of karmic confrontations. And these karmic confrontations, once we question what is our response within and awaken that knowledge within us as to what is it in the universe outside and what is it evoking in the universe inside me, that is the journey that will lead us to liberation and to moksha, if there is such a thing as liberation and moksha. But yes, the world is a karmic stage, and we are all confronting our karma in our thoughts, actions, feelings, deeds in every moment in our lives, the choices that we make. So having said that, I do believe that every human being is as unique, but also every human being is, the core nature of human is we are very eclectic in nature. We are very eclectic. What do I mean by the word eclectic? You can Google it if you want. The word eclectic means in philosophy is that we pick and choose the gyan, the knowledge that works for us. So I encounter somebody who says something to me and it's wonderful and it evokes a great memory in me, and I make that knowledge mine and I live by it. And sometimes I look within me, I have some insight, I come up with something, I make that knowledge mine, I pick that up. So being eclectic means each one of us have a unique, implicit knowledge system that we collect over the years, and as we grow and we mature, it becomes our world and our reality. So having said that, it becomes a little, for me in my life, very inane to offer, some shastra or some shloka or something, some gyan, which I don't know what impact it will have on others. But yet, I will still do my best. I am a product of modern India. I lived in big cities all my life. Educated in English medium, in semi-westernized in convent education and senior Cambridge and universities that are a product of modern India. I have lived and grown up in this milieu. I tried a couple of times to dive deep into knowledge systems which were not a part of my everyday life. Learning Sanskrit or reading some Vishnu Puran or including Mahabharata and Ramayana. My version of Mahabharata and Ramayana is what came on Doordarshan and what came on Star TV. That's my version of Mahabharata and Ramayana. So I am a product of all this. But yet I consider myself a spiritual soul. Yet I consider myself in every moment looking at what are the confrontations life is bringing me to and what does it tell me about myself. I am a practitioner of Vipassana form of meditation. I found myself at the door of the Vipassana Meditation Center in Igatpuri in Maharashtra some 12 or 13 years ago. And the lady who was registering me and putting me in, she said to me one thing, now that you have come to this point, there's something in your soul that is seeking, and from here on life will be different. And if not in this life, in future lives or in future lives, something about this journey will continue. And this is a turning point. Yes, it was a turning point, and there have been many turning points in my life. I did realize one thing, that understanding yourself through your body was one way of very concrete and valid data. Understanding myself through my mind, my emotions tended to fool me. They tended to elude me. They tended to confuse me. They tended to cloud my judgment. They tended to create illusions in my mind. But focusing on my body, what are my sensations, what are my experiences of my somatic experiences of my body, was what gave me a lot more understanding about myself. So in Vipassana, the belief is that in your body is encoded your soul, and your mind, bodies, heart and soul are not separate. It's all encoded in one. And inside your body lies the remnants and the residues of all your past lives and all your past life karmas which are yet to be due. So the fact that we have different body ailments, we have different body functions, body responses, is a function of what that past life karma has been. So the act of meditating upon the body, connecting with it deeply, actually helps me reduce or eliminate that past life karmic baggage that I'm carrying. It's a kind of a spiritual cleansing of its own. Vipassana is the kind of meditation that Lord Buddha practiced. He experimented with more than 100 different forms of meditation before he arrived at Vipassana. And that's what he promoted as his way of achieving salvation. And the thing is, when you understand your body, you look at who you are, the idea is not to pass any judgment on it, not to have any rag, not to have any dvesh. No, I love this and I don't like this about my body. I love this sensation. It's a positive sensation. It's a negative sensation. You have to only know. In Hindi they will say, keval janna hai. Koi rag nahi rakhna, koi dvesh nahi rakhna. Keval janna hai. And that's the beauty about karmic confrontation, is whatever the world evokes in you, you simply have to know. Whether it's good, bad, beautiful, positive, ugly, you do not have to have any of those value-loaded judgments on yourself. Keval janna hai. And that is the way to conquer, I would say, your ego. Or I won't use the word conquer, but that's the way to dissolve your ego. You can't conquer the ego, you can only dissolve it. That's the way to dissolve your ego. So that is one thing I learned. One of the very big principles I live by, because I've been living in the Grihastha ashram, I'm now slowly moving into a Vanprasth state of mind. But when I was doing my first Griha Pravesh Puja at home, the first time we bought a house, the Panditji who came, he gave a little pravachan at the end, and he said to me one thing which has stayed with me all my life, and I'd love to bring that gyan to you also, is that he said there are 4 kinds of beings. 4 prakar ke jeev hain. 4 kinds of beings. The first is the devta, जो अपना भला नहीं करता, दूसरों का भला करता है. A devta doesn't do good for himself, does good for the other people, society good and whatnot. So the Panditji told me very clearly, you are entering Grihastha ashram. You want to work like a devta, selfless service. Go to the Gurdwara, go to the mandir, go to the masjid, do your social service where it is due. People are needy for that. But if you try to do social service in your organization, living like a merchant and a householder, it may not work for you. Then you have to go to the second kind of being, दूसरे प्रकार का जीव, is the मानव, जो अपना भला भी सोचता है, दूसरों का भला भी सोचता है. So a manav thinks, I win and you win. A devta thinks, you are winning, I don't matter. But a manav says, I win and you win. And in Indian we have a concept of sarva kalyan. So not only I win and you win, but my organization wins, my industry wins, my country wins, my planet wins, the universe wins. Sarva kalyan. Sarva kalyan. Sabka bhala ho, sabka kalyan ho. And that's living like a human being. The devtas were not granted moksha because they were only doing good deeds. But the manav was granted moksha because by the act of doing sarva kalyan, that is the karma, the ethical action, the right action, or the action that creates sarva kalyan, that is the path to moksha, that is the path to happiness, that is the path to well-being. Sabka bhala ho at all levels. And that is the search. So the devtas were not granted moksha, they were granted immortality. But it was man that had to go through cycles of life and death and rebirth so that he could get moksha and do the karma that was the sarva kalyan action. The third kind of being is the Rakshas. This is where the ego is the Asura, sorry, not the Rakshas. The Rakshas I'll come to later. The Asura सिर्फ अपना भला सोचता है, दूसरों का भला नहीं. I am thinking only for my benefit, but not for the benefit of others. That is a very selfish action. And the Panditji also told me, he says, if you are living in the world of being a merchant and a householder in the Grihastha ashram, if you are a Devta, you will only create Asuras around you. One Devta gives rise to one Asura. And if you are an Asura, you will create a Devta around you. Neither of them will be granted any kind of karma. Neither of them will be granted any kind of path to happiness or the path to liberation or moksha. So being an Asura, being a Devta, go hand in hand. जितने देवता हैं उतने ही आसुरा पैदा होते हैं. Living in the world in the sansar means living like a manav. सर्व कल्याण, सबका भला हो, खुद का भला, दूसरों की जैसे के साथ साथ अपना भी जय करो. And that is what I call self-love. It's a path to happiness. And of course the fourth kind of being is the Rakshas. जो अपना भला चाहे होना हो, दूसरों का भला चाहे होना हो, वो तो सर्वनाशी करता है. This is the destructive element that destroys social order, that destroys faith, that destroys belief, that destroys knowledge. That is the Rakshas. That is doubt, skepticism, cynicism, inability to believe and have faith that the world is going to be better tomorrow. These are all Rakshas inside us we have to conquer. And we have to keep, because these Rakshas lives inside me and lives in society and lives everywhere. In Bombay, it's a crowded place where I live, but I have a Maidan in front of me, in front of my house. We used to, every Dasera, have a Rakshas over there, and we used to burn the Rakshas. And then lots of activists came and said, this is causing pollution, this is causing noise, this should not be permitted. There's too much of wastage here. They shut down that ritual that we would do every year. Tens and thousands of families who would witness that Dasera festival. Mothers used to tell their children stories about good versus evil and how good always prevails and Rakshas has to be conquered. Stop telling that story. And now the Rakshas comes and sits inside your house because we don't burn the Rakshas outside. So that's the nature of the Kali Yuga. The prophecy was that Kali Yuga will have the most number of souls achieving moksha. So why do we see 64 crore people coming to Kumbh? Because there are so many souls on the verge of moksha. So many souls that are ready to tread the path and follow the spiritual way forward. So how much time do I have? 2-3 more minutes. One more little gyan I want to share. I'm normally not much of a person who gives too much gyan. I like to join people in whatever they do. But one more gyan I'd like to share is, I read a little bit about Jiddu Krishnamurti. I'm very eclectic. I've read lots and I assimilate what makes sense to me and what works well for me also. I'm very selfish in that way. In some ways, yes. Jiddu Krishnamurti said one thing, that the path to liberation is clear, but there are a lot of traps along the way. A lot of traps, T-R-A-P, not track, but traps. And there are many escapes that man seeks, because the world is nothing but an ocean of suffering. We are all suffering in some way or the other. You look at what Buddha's compassion teaches us. We are all a world of suffering. And in our suffering, we seek moksha, we seek escape, we seek some kind of liberation in our spiritual journey, happiness, well-being, we call these kinds of things. And according to me, according to Jiddu Krishnamurti, there are 4 escapes that man builds for himself. By man, I mean woman also. 4 kinds of escapes that actually prevent you from confronting your karma. 4 kinds of mental escapes prevent you. They sound like they're great paths to follow, but it prevents you from meeting your karmic confrontation. And the first is, man seeks escape in the company of other men. By men and women, I mean mankind. All right. So man seeks escape in the company of other men. So sometimes I will only talk to those who validate my thinking. Or I will create communities of practice, and we are caught up in validating each other's thinking, and we are all behaving alike, we are all looking alike, we are all saying the same things. That prevents me from understanding my unique individual path. Whereas my path is for me to tread alone. Nobody else can tell me what my path is, but we seek the company of other people along the way. The second is, the man seeks escape in material things. Having a bigger car and having a bigger this and a bigger house and material things we all know, but I don't know, maybe I'd like to die in a Mercedes car and not on the street with penniless and hungry. But I don't know, yes, material things, yes, we do seek escape. We try to compensate spiritual richness with physical richness. The third is, man seeks escape in knowledge. Yes, I am sitting here in the middle of a river of knowledge, and I can tell you that for some people it can also become an escape. When we look at knowledge as a tool for power, when we look at knowledge as a tool to prove our superiority, when I look at knowledge as a tool for power and aggression, when I look at knowledge as a tool for I'm better than you, and I use the knowledge in ways that I think I am feeling liberated, but I really am not. So that is also becomes an escape. Our knowledge is there for us to learn. And you know, if you'll see the statue of Ma Saraswati, there will always be a peacock over there. And that peacock is to remind us of the correct use of knowledge. Because knowledge is also can be misused. Knowledge can be misused as much as it can be used. So just knowledge for the sake of knowledge is not good. The simpler the knowledge that you work with, the more relevant you make it to your life, in your spiritual evolution, in your happiness, in your joy, the happier you will be. So these are 3 escapes according to Jiddu Krishnamurti. There is a 4th one, but I'll urge you to read about Jiddu Krishnamurti to learn what is the 4th escape that man creates for themselves, which prevent them from being truly happy and truly true a path of well-being. So with that, I'd like to say thank you very much to Pallavi. First of all, she's the one who invited me. And we met before in different forums, management forums and whatnot. Thank you so much for her for having invited me. To Professor Pinak Jha for hosting this wonderful occasion over here. And thank you to all the members of the dais, and my gratitude goes out to all those who listened. If I made sense to you, well and good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your enlightening golden words. Since VC sir has to go for an important meeting, you'll have to wait for another keynote address by our guest of honor. First, we'll do the unveiling of souvenir. Are we ready? To commemorate today's occasion, we have prepared a conference souvenir encapsulating the essence of our theme and contribution. May I request the dignitaries on dais to kindly unveil the conference souvenir? Thank you. And now, And now I request Conference Director, Professor P.N. Jha sir, to felicitate the Chief Guest of Inaugural Session, Professor Anand Tyagi, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Mahatma Gandhi, Kashi, Vidyapeeth. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time. And we'll continue with the, please have your seats. And now we'll move to the final speaker of inaugural session, Professor Sadashiv Kumar Dwivedi, Department of Sanskrit and Coordinator, Bharat Adhyayan Kendra, BHU, a leading specialist of Sanskrit literature and poetics at one of the premier seats of Sanskrit learning in the world. Over 28 years of teaching and research experience at two central universities, AMU and BHU, and has guided more than a dozen PhD scholars, a multilingual author, and editor of 26 major publications covering Kalidas Lexicon, Anthology of Sanskrit Poetics, Criticism of Poetry, Critical Editions and Translations, winning public and academic acclaim. Professor Dwivedi is the leader of 4 major projects in Sanskrit literature at BHU and Kalidas Sansthan, a versatile academician with first-hand experience in administration of department and university affairs, an award-winning multi-gold medalist, student of literary fundamentals under leading scholars of modern times, including his father, Maho Upadhyay, Professor Reva Prasad Dwivedi Sanatana. We are truly blessed to have with you us today. Can we have you on podium, please?
Panchananam duritamatna matangajanam Nagantakam dhanujapungavapannaganam Davanalam marana shoka jaratavinam Varanasi purupatim bhaja vishwanatham Attahasa bhinna padma janda kosha santatim Drishtipata nashtapapa jalamagrishasanam Ashta siddhidayakam kapala maulikandaram Kashika puradhinata kala bhairavam bhaje. Happiness and well-being amidst polycrisis, insights from Indian knowledge system. This is the main topic of the conference today. I first of all express my pranamas to Professor P.N. Jha ji, Conference Director, Swami Parmeshwar Das Maharaj ji, Mahamandaleshwar Shaktidham Varanasi ji, Professor C.H. Sharma ji, who is former Professor Sri Ram College of Commerce, New Delhi, Dr. Anita Madhok ji, coaching psychologist and managing director, Open Spaces Consulting, Mumbai, and Professor Anand Tyagi ji, the Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi Kashi Vidyapeeth, Professor Amitabh Pandey ji, the founder of this great institution, Professor M.P. Singh ji, and the senior faculties and the delegates who have come here to join this conference from various parts of the country. The topic is actually related to the happiness and the well-being. And the third word which is used in this topic is polycrisis. Polycrisis means many types of crises arising together or interconnected, one crisis connected with another. And related to the society, related to the nation, related to the environment, related to the human beings or the individuals. But as per my observations, this is actually related to the human being mostly. Why? Because human being is the most precious part of the entire creation all around us. Human being happens to be the most precious and the most intelligent part of the creation which we see all around us. Now, that second term, which is IKS, Indian knowledge system means, Indian knowledge system is a huge bank of knowledge which was actually created by closely observing the nature around, comprising of the universal things and the principles and the thoughts in our tradition. One thing that I would like to stress upon is that Indian knowledge system is not actually created by any particular individual or a particular man, and it is not at all imposed over the society. There are three main pillars of the creation of the Indian knowledge system. First is the surroundings. हिंदी में जिसको कहा जाता है लोक, जो हमको दिखाई देता है, जो उपस्थित है. And second thing is the dialogue between the teacher and the taught. विद्यार्थी और गुरु के बीच जो संवाद हुआ करता था. And the third thing is the logical interpretation that comes out of that dialogue. तो हमने लोक को बड़े ही सूक्ष्म तरीके से देखा. Very closely we watched the surroundings. Then after having a close watch on these observations of the surroundings, whatever knowledge we got, we discussed over it. It is not that it was imposed over the individuals. And after a deep discussion, whatever came out in the form of essence is known as Indian knowledge system. तो तीन चीजें हैं इसमें कि ये लोक से जुड़ा हुआ है, ये डायलॉग पर, संवाद पर आश्रित है, किसी व्यक्ति विशेष के द्वारा थोपा गया नहीं है, जैसा कि सेमेटिक रिलीजन्स में होता है कि आदेश कर दिया, मानना है, चाहे सही हो चाहे गलत हो. और तीसरा ये है कि इसको लॉजिकली हमने तैयार किया. विदाउट logic, it was not given to the people for practice. These are the three main things which we should always keep into consideration. How it is decided? You see, we are in the school of management, and the biggest lessons that we get of the management is from Kautilya, that is Arthashastra. So कौटिल्य में चार विद्याएं हैं: आन्वीक्षिकी, त्रयी, वार्ता और दंडनीति. आन्वीक्षिकी का अर्थ क्या है? तर्क. यदि हमारे पास लॉजिकली सोचने की शक्ति होगी तो हम त्रयी का निर्माण कर पाएंगे. त्रयी का अर्थ वेद, ज्ञान, कर्म और उपासना. ज्ञान, कर्म और उपासना ये तीन स्तंभ हैं वेद के. उसी को वेदत्रयी कहा जाता है. और जब त्रयी का निर्माण हो जाता है, एक नॉलेज बैंक बन जाता है, तो हम एक फिजिकल वर्ल्ड बनाते हैं, एक भौतिक संसार बनाते हैं सुखमय जीवन जीने के लिए. जब वो भौतिक संसार वार्ता के रूप में तैयार हो जाता है तो उसकी सुरक्षा का प्रश्न खड़ा होता है. उसके लिए हम बनाते हैं दंड नीति. तो दीज आर ऑल एक्चुअली इंटर रिलेटेड. यदि आन्वीक्षिकी नहीं होगी, तर्क नहीं होगा, तो हम त्रयी का निर्माण नहीं कर पाएंगे, ज्ञान राशि नहीं बना पाएंगे, उस ज्ञान राशि के आधार पर हम एक भौतिक विश्व नहीं खड़ा कर पाएंगे। और जब भौतिक विश्व खड़ा हो गया तो बिना दंड नीति के हम उसकी सुरक्षा नहीं कर सकते। तो ये हमारे यहाँ ज्ञान के 4 स्तंभ थे और इनका उपदेश दिया किसने? आचार्य कौटिल्य ने। एक बात और मैं कहना चाहूँगा कि इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम स्टार्ट्स फ्रॉम द वेदा। The previous speakers stressed this particular point. The Indian knowledge system कहाँ से शुरू होता है? वेद से शुरू होता है। लेकिन वेद पर हम टिके नहीं रहे कि हमको वेद मिल गया, संगीता, ब्राह्मण, आरण्यक और उपनिषद यदि हमको मिल गया तो हमने स्वयं को वहीं तक सीमित रखा। हमारी दृष्टि थी लोक पर। यदि वेद से हम समाज को व्यवस्थित नहीं कर सके तो हमने अपने रास्तों को बदला, सिद्धांतों को नहीं बदला, आदर्शों को नहीं बदला, मान्यताओं को नहीं बदला, वेद ने जो उपदेश दिया उसको नहीं बदला। वो वही था, वो शाश्वत था, नित्य था, क्योंकि उसके निर्माण की विधि जो मैंने आपको बतलाई वो अद्भुत थी। 4 आश्रम है, ब्रह्मचर्य, गृहस्थ, वानप्रस्थ और संन्यास। ब्रह्मचर्य में व्यक्ति का निर्माण होता है, इंडिविजुअल, फॉर्मेशन ऑफ द इंडिविजुअल। स्वतंत्र हैं आप, कोई प्रतिबंध नहीं है आपके ऊपर। अपनी पूरी शक्ति को, सामर्थ्य को आप विकसित कीजिए। जब वो शक्ति विकसित हो जाती है तो गृहस्थ हम उसको समाज को देते हैं, उससे एक समाज का निर्माण करते हैं, उत्तम समाज का, उत्तम नायकों का निर्माण करते हैं जो राष्ट्र को आगे ले जाते हैं। और उसके बाद वानप्रस्थ में हम नेक्स्ट ट्रेडिशन को, नेक्स्ट जो जनरेशन है उस नेक्स्ट जनरेशन को रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज देकर तटस्थ हो जाते हैं, लेकिन उदासीन नहीं होते। ये नहीं कि हम दूर हो गए, उदासीन नहीं होते, हम वी कीप ए वॉच ऑन इट। लेकिन जो जनरेशन गैप होता है या जो एक जनरेशन की लड़ाई होती है उससे हम हट जाते हैं। जो हमने पीढ़ियां तैयार की उसको दायित्व देकर हम उदासीन हो जाते हैं, हम अलग हो जाते हैं और उस पर नज़र रखते हैं। और संन्यास में जो व्यक्ति की चेतना होती है वो चेतना किसी जाति से, वर्ग से, समाज से, राष्ट्र से बंध कर नहीं रहती, वो केवल और केवल मानवता मात्र के लिए काम करती है, प्रकृति के लिए काम करती है। और उस अवस्था में जो नॉलेज सिस्टम तैयार हुआ वो नॉलेज सिस्टम है इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम। इसीलिए इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम कभी भी आउटडेटेड नहीं हो सकता। लॉजिक पर आधारित है, लोक का परीक्षण करके तैयार हुआ है और इसमें संवादों को बल दिया गया है। आप प्रश्न कर सकते हैं, कुमारिल भट्ट और प्रभाकर मिश्र का संवाद मीमांसा में आप देखिए। प्रभाकर शिष्य हैं लेकिन कुमारिल भट्ट के सम्मुख गुरु कहलाते हैं, क्योंकि वो उससे अधिक तर्क करते हैं। इसलिए कुमारिल भट्ट के रहते हुए भी प्रभाकर के मत को हम लोग गुरु मत कहते हैं। ये हमारी परंपरा है। उपनिषद में ऋषि से प्रश्न करता है शिष्य, उसका जो जवाब आता है वही उपनिषद के रूप में हमारे सम्मुख उपस्थित था। तो हम वेद से चले, वेद के सिद्धांतों को लिया हमने। और जो चतुर्दश विद्या स्थान है, जो यंग जनरेशन इसमें आया है, पार्टिसिपेट कर रहा, उसको मैं बताना चाहूँगा कि ये चतुर्दश विद्या स्थान भी लॉजिकली दे आर सेटल्ड। उनका जो क्रम है वो एब्सोल्युटली लॉजिकल है। अंगानि वेदाश्चत्वारो मीमांसा न्याय विस्तरः धर्मशास्त्रम पुराणंच विद्या हेताश्चतुर्दश। तो वेद हुए, वेद के बाद आ जाता है षड वेदांग, शिक्षा, कल्प, निरुक्त, व्याकरण, छंद और ज्योतिष। अंग का अर्थ होता है जो सपोर्टिंग हो, जो सहायक हो, अर्थात वेद को पढ़ने में जो सहायक हो। और वेद में भी 4 हिस्से हैं, संगीता, ब्राह्मण, आरण्यक और उपनिषद। ये चारों अपौरुषेय हैं। ब्रह्म विद्या तक हम आए, उपनिषद तक, वेद के मंत्रों से, उसकी व्याख्या पद्धति से लेकर हम दर्शन तक आए, वो था उपनिषद। ये चारों अपौरुषेय है, इसमें मंत्र ही देवता है, इसको बदला नहीं जा सकता। 6 अंग आ गए, 10 हो गए। लेकिन उसके बाद हमने मीमांसा का निर्माण किया। मीमांसा क्या है? इंटरप्रिटेशन, वैदिक शब्द राशि का प्रामाणिक अर्थ तैयार करना। और जब वो अर्थ तैयार हो गया तो हमने न्याय का निर्माण किया। न्याय का अर्थ है इसका एक लॉजिकल इवेल्युएशन, और तब हमने धर्मशास्त्र को प्रस्तुत किया। धर्मशास्त्र का अर्थ है इसकी प्रैक्टिस। तब हमने उसको लोक को दिया उसके अभ्यास के लिए। तो ये हमारे यहाँ ज्ञान राशि थी जो उपलब्ध थी। वेद से जब हमने देखा कि लोक नियंत्रित नहीं हो रहा है, तो हमने रामायण की रचना की, हमने महाभारत की रचना की, हमने स्मृतियों की रचना की, हमने पुराणों की रचना की, और परवर्ती युग में अनेक कवि आए जिन्होंने कि राष्ट्र को एक नई दिशा प्रदान की। उसमें सबसे प्रिय है महाकवि कालिदास। हमको तो सबसे प्रिय महाकवि कालिदास हैं, जो कि लोक की शिक्षा देते हैं। तो ये पूरी ज्ञान राशि है, जिस ज्ञान राशि को लॉजिकली हमारे समाज के सम्मुख प्रस्तुत किया गया। यंग जनरेशन को इसको समझना चाहिए, इसको जानना चाहिए, इसके अंदर निहित हुए तत्वों को आप समझकर आगे बढ़ें। इसी में आता है, समय बहुत हो चुका है, सबका ध्यान दूसरी तरफ है, लेकिन मैं अपनी ओर खींचने की कोशिश अधिक से अधिक कर रहा हूं। अर्थशास्त्र या आचार्य कौटिल्य, जो कि आपका मैनेजमेंट के सबसे बड़े गुरु माने जाते हैं, अर्थशास्त्र में 15 अधिकरण हैं, 150 के करीब अध्याय हैं और 180 विषयों का उसमें विवेचन किया गया है। 6000 श्लोक है। दूसरा है चाणक्य नीति। चाणक्य नीति में आपके 17 अध्याय हैं और लगभग 500 या 550 वर्सेस हैं। देयर आर मोर देन 500 वर्सेस। और तीसरा है चाणक्य सूत्र। चाणक्य सूत्र में 573 सूत्र हैं। इतना बड़ा वाङ्मय मैनेजमेंट का आपको किसने दिया? कौटिल्य ने दिया। लेकिन शर्मा जी हमारे बीच उपस्थित है, कितना आपके पाठ्यक्रम में है? कुलपति जी तो जो पाठ्यक्रम के मुख्य नियामक हैं विश्वविद्यालयों के, कितना आपके पाठ्यक्रम में है, आप बताइए। हमने इसको पाठ्यक्रम में नहीं रखा। एक उदाहरण मैं आपको दूंगा केवल कौटिल्य की चाणक्य सूत्र से। कौटिल्य ने चाणक्य सूत्र में आपको 11 सूत्र या 12 सूत्र प्रारंभ में दिए, 11 सूत्र। इसके क्रम पर आप विचार कीजिएगा, हाउ लॉजिकल इट इज एंड इट इज इवन टुडे इम्प्लीकेबल। उन्होंने कहा सुखस्य मूलम धर्मः, क्योंकि हम जितना भी प्रयास करते हैं, ये हैप्पीनेस की बात जो हम कर रहे हैं, सुखस्य मूलम धर्मः और धर्मस्य मूलम अर्थः, अर्थस्य मूलम राज्यम और राज्यस्य मूलम इंद्रिय जयः, इंद्रिय जयस्य मूलम विनयः, विनयस्य मूलम वृद्धोपसेवा, वृद्धोपसेवायाः मूलम विज्ञानम, विज्ञानेन आत्मानं संपादयेत्, संपादितात्मा जितात्मा भवति, जितात्मा सर्वार्थैः संयुज्यते, तस्मात् तेषां कार्य सिद्धिर्भवति। ये एक क्रम है हमारे यहाँ। इस पर यदि आप विचार करें तो इट इज एब्सोल्युटली लॉजिकल एंड एब्सोल्युटली एक्सेप्टेबल बाय ईच एंड एवरी इंडिविजुअल। क्यों? क्योंकि दुःखत्रयाभिघाता जिज्ञासा तदपघात के हेतु, आदि भौतिक, आध्यात्मिक और आदिदैवी की त्रिविध दुखों से सब व्यक्ति बचना चाहता है। जो भी उपाय हम कर रहे हैं उसी को कहते हैं सुख। सुख हर व्यक्ति प्राप्त करना चाहता है। जो भी हम माध्यम कर रहे हैं ये सब सुख के लिए है। लेकिन ये सुख आता कहाँ से है? सुख आता है धर्म से। अब प्रश्न खड़ा हुआ कि धर्म शब्द की व्याख्या धर्म से नहीं की जा सकती। धारणात् धर्म मृत्याहु धर्मो रक्षति रक्षितः, ये सब बातें कही गई हैं। धर्मो विश्वस्य जगतः प्रतिष्ठा, ये सब कहा जाता है। लेकिन जब तक हम उसके कंटेंट्स को नहीं बताएंगे, उपादानों को नहीं बताएंगे, तब तक हम धर्म का ज्ञान नहीं कर सकते। इसको आचार्य पतंजलि ने सस्पष्ट कहा है, यम नियमो धर्मः। यम और नियम धर्म है, 5 यम है, 5 नियम है। लेकिन वैशेषिक दर्शन जो था उसमें आचार्य कणाद ने कहा यतोभ्युदयो निश्रेयस हेतु सधर्मः। और यही बात आती है कहाँ से? उपनिषद से। विद्यांच यस्तद्वेदो भयम सह अविद्या मृत्युम तीर्त्वा विद्यामृतम अश्नुते। संबुद्धिंच विनाशंच यस्तद्वेदो भयम सह विनाशेन मृत्युम तीर्त्वा संबुद्ध्यामृतम अश्नुते। ये हमारे कहा विद्यामृतम अश्नुते। विद्या से हम किसको प्राप्त करते हैं? अमृतत्व को प्राप्त करते हैं। लेकिन हमने दोनों को पैरेलल रखा, अभ्युदय को भी साथ रखा और निश्रेयस को भी साथ रखा। अभ्युदय का सीधा अर्थ है द फिजिकल एंटिटी और द फिजिकल वर्ल्ड दैट वी प्रिपेयर टू हैव ए हैप्पी लाइफ, जो हम एक भौतिक विश्व तैयार करते हैं। मैडम ने कहा कि बड़ी से बड़ी गाड़ी खरीद लें, लेकिन बड़ी से बड़ी गाड़ी खरीदने पे हमारा ऋषि मना नहीं करता। अच्छा से अच्छा भोजन करिए, अच्छे से अच्छे घर में रहिए, अच्छे से अच्छा वस्त्र पहनिए, अच्छी से अच्छी शिक्षा अर्जित कीजिए। सर्वोत्तम जो हो उसको आपको अर्जित करना चाहिए सृष्टि में। लेकिन इसको हमारे यहाँ कहा गया अविद्या। अविद्या का अर्थ है विद्या का राहित्य नहीं, विद्या का विनाश नहीं, विद्या का निषेध नहीं, नेगेशन नहीं है। यहाँ अविद्या का अर्थ है विद्या सदृश। अका अर्थ होता है अकार नयर्था षट प्रकीर्तिता, अर्थात वो विद्या के सदृश है। लेकिन यदि आपकी नजर रहेगी विद्या पर, निश्रेयस पर, तो वो अविद्या आपको भटकाएगी नहीं, वो आपको बांधेगी नहीं, वो आपको गलत रास्ते पर कभी भी नहीं ले जाएगी। यही है धर्म। अभ्युदय निश्रेयस हेतु। उस अभ्युदय को प्राप्त करिए, उस उन्नति को प्राप्त करिए जो आपको परम कल्याण की ओर ले जाए। नजर यदि रहेगी निश्रेयस पर तो इस अभ्युदय से आप कभी भी भटकेंगे नहीं। तो सुखस्य मूलम धर्मः, उसके लिए हमने 4 पुरुषार्थ बनाए, धर्म, अर्थ, काम और मोक्ष। मोक्ष के लिए हम प्रयास नहीं करते, हम धर्मानुप्राणित अर्थ और धर्मानुप्राणित काम, और बिना कामना के धर्म भी नहीं होता। 66 करोड़ 64 करोड़ क्यों गए कुंभ में स्नान करने? बिना कामना के धर्म भी नहीं होता। धर्म के मूल में भी काम होता है, धर्म के मूल में भी अर्थ होता है। बिना अर्थ के न धर्म हो सकता न काम हो सकता। These 3 are interdependent and inevitable for each other. They are essentially required. लेकिन जो चौथा है, यदि काम और अर्थ को आप धर्म पर आश्रित रखते हैं तो चौथा आपको अपने आप मिल जाएगा, उसके लिए अधिक प्रयास करने की आवश्यकता नहीं है। ये हमारे यहाँ का सिद्धांत था। और धर्मस्य मूलम अर्थः, धर्म के मूल को हमारे यहाँ माना गया अर्थ। लेकिन अर्थ की परिभाषा आचार्य कौटिल्य ने अलग की। वो कहा कि मनुष्यवती भूमि ही अर्थः, मनुष्यवान जो भूमि है उसको हमने अर्थ माना। या अर्थते प्रार्थ्यते इति अर्थः। और अर्थस्य मूलम राज्यम, राज्यम शब्द का अर्थ होता है आपको कुछ प्रभुत्व मिले, कुछ अधिकार मिले, आपके पास कोई पुश्तैनी संपत्ति आ जाए, या कोई नौकरी मिल जाए, चाकरी मिल जाए, या कोई बिजनेस करें आप जिस पर आपका अपना अधिकार हो, गवर्नेंस हो, उसके माध्यम से आप अर्थ को अर्जित कर सकते हैं। लेकिन वह अर्थ कब स्थिर रहेगा? जबकि वो राज्य कब स्थिर रहेगा? जब उसके मूल में इंद्रिय जय हो। इंद्रियाणि हयानाहुर विषयांस तेषु गोचरान आत्मेन्द्रिय मनोयुक्तम भोक्तेत्याहुर मनीषिणः। यह हमारे यहाँ उपनिषदों में कहा गया है। इंद्रियेभ्यो परा ह्यर्था अर्थेभ्यश्च परम मनः मनसस्तु परा बुद्धिर्बुद्धिरात्मा महान परः। इस चैतन्य से बंधा हुआ ये जो पंचभूतात्मक पिंड है, पंच महाभूतात्मक पिंड है, इसमें 10 इंद्रियां हैं, 5 कर्मेंद्रियां, 5 ज्ञानेंद्रियां, 1 मन, और बुद्धि और अहंकार, ये 3 अंतःकरण हैं। इनसे ये बंधा हुआ जो पिंड है इसी को हम कहते हैं जीव। लेकिन इसके अंदर बैठा हुआ जो आत्मा है उसको हमने माना ईश्वर का अंश। उसको हमने भोग की दृष्टि से कभी नहीं देखा, उसको हमने क्या माना कि ये ईश्वर का अंश है। यदि हम इसको ठीक रखेंगे, यदि हम इसको दुरुस्त रखेंगे, यदि इसके वश में नहीं होंगे तो हमारा राज्य बचा रहेगा। जो हम कुल परंपरा से प्राप्त जो भी सामग्री है वो हमारी सामग्री सुरक्षित रहेगी। उसी को भगवान श्री कृष्ण ने गीता में कहा, योगक्षेमम वहाम्यहम्, अप्राप्तस्य प्राप्ति ही योगः और प्राप्तस्य संरक्षणम क्षेमः। वो कब आप कर पाएंगे? जब आप अपने इन शरीर को दुरुस्त रखेंगे, ठीक रखेंगे, और ठीक रखने के लिए जो भी उपाय हमारे यहाँ विहित है उन उपायों को हम करेंगे। तो वहाँ पर फिर आचार्य कौटिल्य कहते हैं, इंद्रिय जयस्य मूलम विनयः। हमारे यहाँ दंडाधिकारी नहीं होता था, कभी भी दंडाधिकारी नहीं हुआ, हमारे यहाँ विनयाधिकारी होता था। विनयाधिकारी का अर्थ है कि समाज में रहने वाले लोगों को सतपथ पर चलाने का जो रास्ता दिखाए, रूल्स और रेगुलेशंस के माध्यम से। ये नहीं कि वो गलती करे तो उनको पकड़ के लाके जो है सो दंड दे। आप यदि उनको विनय सिखा देंगे तो दंड की अवस्था आएगी ही नहीं। ये हमारे यहाँ की दृष्टि थी। तो इंद्रिय जयस्य मूलम विनय, और विनय मिलेगा कहाँ से? तो वो ज्ञान वृद्ध, वयोवृद्ध और अनुभव वृद्ध व्यक्तियों के साथ बैठने से मिलेगा। विनय की प्राप्ति किससे होगी? ज्ञान वृद्ध, वयोवृद्ध और अनुभव वृद्ध। इनके साथ यदि आप बैठते हैं तो आपको विनय की प्राप्ति होगी, और वृद्धोपसेवाया मूलम विज्ञानम। और जब आप वृद्ध के साथ बैठेंगे तो आप विज्ञान को प्राप्त करेंगे। विज्ञान का अर्थ क्या है? जिस स्किल की बात आपने कही थी, हायर स्किल्स, सर ने कहा था कि हमने स्किल को छोड़ दिया। कुलपति जी ने भी कहा कि हम सूचनाओं तक रह गए। स्किल और चरित्र, आत्मकौशल और चरित्र को हमने छोड़ दिया। स्किल का अर्थ है टू ब्रिंग नॉलेज इनटू द प्रैक्टिस। उस ज्ञान को आप व्यवहार में उतारें, उसी को स्किल कहा जाता है। आपने जो अर्जित किया है लोक को दें, समाज को दें। टू डिजायर टू लर्न हायर स्किल्स विथ फुल डिवोशन, इसी को हमारे यहाँ विज्ञान कहा गया है। विशिष्टम ज्ञानम विज्ञानम। तो हमारे अंदर अधिक से अधिक सामर्थ्य को उत्पन्न करने की उत्कट अभिलाषा उत्पन्न होती है। कब? जब हम किसी सीनियर के पास बैठते हैं जो ज्ञान वृद्ध हो, वयोवृद्ध हो और आपका अनुभव में जो अधिक संपन्न हो। और ऐसा विज्ञानेन आत्मानं संपादयेत्, उस विज्ञान से स्वयं को संपन्न कीजिए। इक्विप योर सेल्फ विद दैट विज्ञान। और जो इक्विप हो गया वो जितात्मा होता है, अर्थात उसने स्वयं को जीत लिया है। और जितात्मा सर्वार्थै ही संयुज्यते, ये रास्ता है हैप्पीनेस का या वेलबीइंग का, जो आचार्य कौटिल्य ने इन 11 सूत्रों में बतला दिया। तस्मात् तेषां कार्य सिद्धिर भवति। और जब वो संपादितात्मा हो जाता है, जितात्मा हो जाता है, तो वो जो भी कार्य करता है उस कार्य में उसकी सिद्धि होती है, वो भटकेगा नहीं। योग कर्मसु कौशलम, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता में भगवान ने कहा। तो योग का अर्थ क्या है? योग का अर्थ है इंटीग्रिटी ऑफ योर पर्सनालिटी। आपके शरीर को एक इंटीग्रल अवस्था में पहुंचाना, आत्मकेंद्रित अवस्था में पहुंचाना, एक वशीभूत अवस्था में पहुंचाना, उसी को हमारे यहाँ योग कहा गया है। एक और श्लोक में पढ़ूंगा श्रीमद् भगवद गीता का। अधिष्ठानम तथा कर्ता करणंच पृथक विधम विविधाश्च पृथक चेष्टा दैवम चैवात्र पंचमम। ये भगवान श्री कृष्ण को, भगवान श्री कृष्ण ने अर्जुन से कहा। अर्जुन की स्थिति क्या थी? कार्पण्य दोषोपहत स्वभाव मिच्छामि त्वां धर्म सम्मूढ़ चेतः यच्छ्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम। बिना प्रपत्ति के ज्ञान नहीं मिलता। मंदिर आप जाते हैं, क्यों जाते हैं? क्योंकि आप ईश्वर के शरणागत होने के लिए मंदिर जाते हैं। यदि आप अपना अहंकार, जो ईगो की बात की गई, उसको पकड़ के बैठे रहेंगे तो आप शनिवार मंगलवार संकट मोचन नहीं जाएंगे, कितनी भीड़ होती है। ईगो यदि आप पकड़ के बैठे ही रहेंगे कि हम ही सर्वस्व हैं, हमारे सिवा कुछ नहीं है, तो बिना प्रपत्ति के ज्ञान नहीं मिलता। इसीलिए कहा गया है श्रद्धावान लभते ज्ञानम तत्पर संयतेन्द्रिय। ज्ञान किसको मिलता है? और नॉलेज इज द सोर्स ऑफ हैप्पीनेस, नॉलेज इज द सोर्स ऑफ वेलबीइंग। लेकिन नॉलेज किसको मिलता है? जो तत्पर हो, अर्थात निरंतर लगा रहे उसको पाने के लिए, और जो संयतेन्द्रिय हो, जिसने स्वयं को वश में कर रखा है। ऐसा नहीं है कि उसकी इंद्रियां विषयों के वशीभूत होकर भाग रही हैं, दौड़ रही हैं। तो श्रद्धावान लभते ज्ञानम तत्पर संयतेन्द्रिय। परिणाम क्या हुआ? नष्टो मोह स्मृतिर्लब्धा तत्प्रसादान्मयाच्युत स्थितोस्मि गत संदेह करिष्ये वचनम तवा। ये स्थिति हो जाती है शिष्य की, उसका सारा मोह नष्ट हो जाता है। किसके प्रसाद से? गुरु के प्रसाद से। वो स्थितोस्मि अर्थात अपने अंदर स्थित होता, अपनी वास्तविकता को पहचान लेता है, सारे संदेह उसके नष्ट हो जाते हैं, और जो एक यूनिवर्सल प्रिंसिपल है, सिद्धांत है, उस पर वो चलने का निर्णय कर लेता है। ये हमारे यहाँ जीवन की एक बहुत बड़ी स्थिति थी। समय का अतिकाल हो रहा है, बहुत से विषय हैं। सर शर्मा जी ने कहा कि जैनिज्म केम टू अपोज द वैदिक ट्रेडिशन। दिस इज नॉट द एक्चुअल थिंग सर, वेस्टर्न थॉट है। देखिए, दो है हमारे यहाँ, आचार संहिता और दूसरा है कर्मकांड विधि। आचार संहिता में हम कहीं नहीं बदले, चाहे बुद्ध हो, चाहे जैन हो, चाहे कोई दूसरी परंपरा हो, चाहे इस्लाम को ले लीजिए, चाहे आप जो है सो किसी और धर्म को ले लीजिए, क्रिश्चियनिटी को ले लीजिए, आचार संहिता में कहीं भी परिवर्तन नहीं है। सब एक ही आचार संहिता का उपदेश देते हैं। अंतर कहाँ है? प्रैक्टिस में है। उस ईश्वर को प्राप्त करने वाले जो रास्ते हैं, उसमें हमारे यहाँ अंतर है। उसमें उसमें आया है, आपका महिम्न स्तोत्र में आया है कि सभी नदियों का गंतव्य क्या होता है? समुद्र। वैसे ही सभी संप्रदायों का गंतव्य एक ही परमात्मा होता है। तो मार्ग भेद से हम अहंकार की लड़ाई में पड़े हुए हैं, गंतव्य भेद से हम भिन्न नहीं हैं। और एक बात और मैं कहूँगा कि दो हमारे यहाँ रास्ते हैं। एक रास्ता होता है जो कि परमार्थ का रास्ता है, और दूसरा रास्ता होता है जो कि व्यवहार का रास्ता है। तो परमार्थ की दृष्टि से यदि आप विचार करेंगे तो सब मनुष्य हैं, सब में चेतना है, सब में भगवान ने समान रूप से इंद्रियां प्रदान की हैं, मस्तिष्क प्रदान किया है, मन प्रदान किया है, किसी में कोई अंतर नहीं है। लेकिन व्यवहार की दृष्टि से आप करेंगे तो वहाँ धर्मशास्त्र आड़े आ जाता है। व्यवहार की दृष्टि से आप एक नहीं हो सकते। यदि आप व्यवहार की दृष्टि से एक करने की कोशिश करेंगे तो संघर्ष खड़ा होगा, विभेद खड़े होंगे, मतभेद खड़े हो जाएंगे। तो परमार्थ की दृष्टि से एक मानकर ये सारे सिद्धांत हमारे यहाँ बनाए गए हैं, लेकिन उसके साथ ही हमारे यहाँ व्यवहार की दृष्टि से भेद रखा गया, जिससे कि हमारी डाइवर्सिटी बनी रहे, और डाइवर्सिटी हमारी सबसे बड़ी ताकत है। बिना डाइवर्सिटी के कोई भी सभ्यता, कोई भी सृष्टि का तंत्र आगे नहीं बढ़ सकता। यूनिटी इन डाइवर्सिटी का सबसे बड़ा प्रतीक था जो कुंभ अभी पूरा का पूरा संपन्न हुआ। इन दृष्टियों से हमको विचार करना चाहिए। पाश्चात्यों का जो मत है वो तर्क पर आश्रित है, लेकिन उस तर्क में भावना की कमी है। हमारा जो मत है वो लॉजिक पर आश्रित है, लेकिन उसके साथ भावना भी जुड़ी हुई है। एक बात और कह के मैं अपनी वाणी को विराम दूंगा। मैं साहित्य शास्त्र का विद्यार्थी हूँ। जिस हैप्पीनेस और वेलबींग की आपने बात कही है, हम रस सिद्धांत पढ़ाते हैं साहित्य शास्त्र में। वहाँ रस शब्द का अर्थ है रस्यते आस्वाद्यते इति रसः। जैसे आपके सामने शिकंजी रख दी गई तो उसको आपने पिया तो आपकी जिह्वा से संपर्क हुआ, आपको एक टेस्ट मिला। उसको भी हम आस्वाद कहते हैं। लेकिन जो शिकंजी को आपने पिया वो भी रस है, लेकिन उस शिकंजी को रस तब तक नहीं आप मानेंगे जब तक कि वो आपको तृप्त न करे। ऐसी स्थिति में जो हैप्पीनेस है वो कोई आरोपित धर्म नहीं है। इट इज़ नॉट समथिंग विच इज सुपर इम्पोज्ड अपॉन यू। हैप्पीनेस भगवान ने आपके अंदर भर के दी है, जन्मजात आपको, क्योंकि आत्मा का या चैतन्य का धर्म ही है सत चित आनंद अनंत अद्वय। तो आनंद को यदि चेतना से निकाल दिया जाए तो चेतना शून्य हो जाएगा, फिर वो चैतन्य नहीं बचा रहेगा। इसलिए कविता के माध्यम से, काव्य के माध्यम से, नाट्य के माध्यम से सहृदय सामाजिक को हम जिस आनंद की प्राप्ति कराते हैं वो कोई आनंद इम्पोज्ड नहीं है कि आपके ऊपर थोप दिया गया, वो उसके अंदर भरा हुआ आनंद है। केवल कविता उसके ऊपर पड़े हुए अज्ञान के कंचुक को हटा देती है और उसको अनुभव में ला देती है। इसलिए हैप्पीनेस आपके अंदर भरी हुई है। हैप्पीनेस के लिए आपको बाहर जाने की आवश्यकता नहीं है, उसको पहचानने की आवश्यकता है। अपने क्राइटेरियाज, अपने जो मापदंड हैं, उन मापदंडों को निश्चित करने की आवश्यकता है। भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा को आप इस दृष्टि से देखें, जो कि वेद से लेकर 14वीं से 17वीं शताब्दी तक संत परंपरा तक चली आई, और उस संत परंपरा ने भी उसी बात को कहा जो वेद ने कहा था। जब हमारे ऊपर सर्वाधिक आक्रमण हो रहे थे तो हमने अपनी स्ट्रेटजी को बदला, सिद्धांतों को नहीं बदला, आदर्शों को नहीं बदला, जो कि लोगों को देखकर संवाद के माध्यम से तर्कपूर्ण विधि से तैयार हुए थे। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं आप सभी को हृदय से धन्यवाद देता हूं कि मुझे आपने आमंत्रित किया, कुछ नया प्रस्तुत कर सका होऊंगा तो मैं समझता हूं कि मेरा ये वक्तव्य सार्थक होगा। पुनः सभी को प्रणाम।
Now, as a token of gratitude, we shall now felicitate our distinguished guest. May I request Professor P. N. Shah, sir, Conference Director, to present mementos and shawls to our dignitaries. First of all, sir, kindly felicitate Swami Parmeshwar Das Maharaj, Mahamandaleshwar Shaktidham, guest of honor of this session. Next, Dr. Anita Madhok, coaching psychologist and managing director, Open Spaces Consulting, Mumbai, guest of honor of the session. Professor Sadashiv Kumar Dwivedi, Department of Sanskrit and Coordinator, Bharat Adhyayan Kendra, BHU, guest of honor. And finally, Professor C.S. Sharma, former professor, Shri Ram College of Commerce, University of Delhi, guest of honor. Thank you, sir. To conclude this inaugural session, I invite Professor Amitabh Pandey, conference convener, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable chief guest, who has already left us because of his busy schedule and other priorities, of the Mahatma Gandhi Kashi Vidyapeeth, Professor Anand Tyagi, Guest of honor, Mahamandaleshwar Swami Parameshwardas Maharaj Ji from Shaktidham Ashram Varanasi, Dr. Anita Madhok from Open Spaces Consulting Mumbai, Professor C.S. Sharma, former professor, Sri Ram College of Commerce, New Delhi, Professor Sadashiv Kumar Devedi from Department of Sanskrit and Coordinator Bharat Adhyan Kendra, Banaras Hindu University, Honorable Director of the Institute, Professor P.N. Jha, and other dignitaries, delegates from different parts of the country. As I am standing here to present the vote of thanks, let me tell you that organizing a conference, international conference, be it on any subject, especially on happiness, is not less than a polycrisis. You have to actually steer through a polycrisis, organizing an international conference, and maintaining and ensuring your own happiness and well-being as a convener of the program is again a very challenging and at the same time learning experience. But I am thankful to the Almighty that I had the support and blessings of the luminaries sitting on the dais today. I have the support, encouragement, and all kind of freedom has been given by the management to me. Also, I had got the support of a very dedicated team of teaching and non-teaching staff members and colleagues from our School of Management Sciences Varanasi, and also the participants, the very enthusiastic participants who have come down to Varanasi despite of all the adverse conditions. We all know recently the Kumbh have concluded and there was scarcity of the travel options as well as staying options, accommodation options, even though many of them have actually made it to the venue today. So it is through support of all these people that my life has become easy. So I take this opportunity to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the chief guest of the inaugural session, Professor Anand Tyagi. He had an urgent meeting, online meeting with the governor today, and due to that he could come late, he could join late, but still he made it a point to come here, join us, and he very beautifully given us some food for thought. The conference is being organized on the theme Happiness and Well-being Amidst Polycrisis, Insights from Indian Knowledge System. He very rightly emphasized that we have to make this Indian knowledge system easy, simple, and easily accessible. He used the word Sugrahya. So we have to make it Saral and Sugrahya, which was a very valid suggestion and submission from his side, and I think during the discussions in the technical sessions, these things will be well taken and well discussed by the participants. Moving further, I am thankful to Swami Parameshwardas Maharaj Ji. When we approached him, again he was busy in Mahakumbh, and it took us some time actually to reach him, but as soon as we could connect with him, when he came to know about the subject matter of the conference, he readily accepted our invitation, and he is here, and he has seen both the worlds, I can say. He was there in the corporate, and he is now practicing Sanatan, and he gave us the essence. Happiness lies within. So we have to look inside, and he also talked about the two different types of attributes which every one of us have. The one side where we develop jealousy, we develop conflict, we have devil inside. The other side where we are divine attributes, where we have compassion, where we have love. So the teaching or the suggestion which came from him was that we should nurture the second side, the side with love, compassion, and divinity. The next speaker today was Professor C.S. Sharma from Sri Ram College of Commerce. He is a walking treasure of knowledge, I can say, and at the same time he's immensely humble, and he very passionately talked about the Indian knowledge system. He told us what is the Indian knowledge system and how we have been misguided through Western template which have been imposed on us, and what is the way out, how we can reclaim our roots. That also he talked about at much length and with all passion. Thank you so much, sir, for taking your time and coming down all the way from Delhi and addressing the gathering here. I'm sure the food for thought that you have provided to us will definitely lead into discussions, deliberations, and whatever will come forward may also be documented. I'm also thankful to Dr. Anita Madhok, as she herself said that she comes from the modern India. She brought a different perspective, her own perspective, and also she discussed, she has suggested that we should develop the Manaviya Guna. We should try to become Manav. Danav, we should not become Danav or Devata or Rakshas. We should try to become Manav. So thank you so much, ma'am. You came all the way from Mumbai and accepted our invitation. One more thing I would like to tell. When we were conceiving this international conference, entire team was there. Pallavi ma'am, she has already attended your session. So when this theme came, happiness and well-being, immediately she came with your name, and we had no doubt that ma'am has to be there in the conference. And you accepted our invitation, you are here, we are so grateful to you. Thank you, ma'am. Our next speaker, Dr. Sadashiv Kumar Dwivedi ji. We keep on waiting for his deliberations. Let me tell you, for last 3 international conferences that we have organized on Indian knowledge system, he has been a integral part of those 3 international conferences, and we all, including our executive secretary, sir, eagerly waits for you, sir, for your deliberations. And if I can say that, like, sir is like the master blaster, or you can say Mahi of Indian cricket team. So whatever deliberations come from him is, we actually enjoy it, we relish it, and we always look forward to your deliberations, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation. And let me also tell one more thing. Today it was a very adverse situation. Today morning, sir, the dear wife of sir, she has to get admitted because of some complications. He was there at the hospital. That is why he came late. He joins us late. But still, he accepted our invitation, came here, and very beautifully talked about the Indian knowledge system. He has explained us the genesis of Indian knowledge system, how logically it has been created, and how we, like the Vice Chancellor sir was telling, we should make it simple. He also told us how to make it simple, how this can be made part of the syllabus, and how it can be integrated and passed on to the younger generation. And the genesis, how it has been created, the logical thinking behind it, the way it has been created, everything has been explained. And I think these can lead to many more researches. Our faculty members, our research scholars and delegates, those who have listened to the deliberations, they will find much food for thought from his deliberations. And I'm ever thankful to our director, sir, our management, the team of organizers, the entire SMS fraternity, everybody in the fraternity, in the family. They have been working tirelessly, and this first stage of the 2 days international conference has been completed successfully, and I'm thankful to everyone who has contributed. I'm looking forward for a very successful discussions in the ensuing sessions, And I'm sure something very enriching will come out of this conference. Thank you once again to everyone present here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, this culminates the inaugural session of our conference, and we express our heartfelt gratitude to all our distinguished guests and participants for gracing this occasion. We look forward to your active participation in the forthcoming sessions as well. Have a good day, and please proceed to the designated area for lunch, and we'll meet again here for technical session 1 at 3:30. 3:30. Thank you so much, everyone.